Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is December 12th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing fantastic. I didn't think I'd see the day where, a high school football coach would be called up into action, but it sounds like Phil Rivers has a real chance of playing, and that delights my heart.
Phil Rivers discourse. I'm glad.
I thought Andy was going to talk about the Michigan situation for a second there.
Say, hail to the victors, hail to the valiant. We're joined again by AJ Hawk in Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you for joining us for round two, AJ. We'll hopefully get you to talk. I'm sure you're delighted at the chaos in Ann Arbor, Michigan, as a former.
I actually have a cigar here. Played a role completely.
Love it. Oh, yeah. The moral compasses in South Bend, Indiana, and Ann Arbor, Michigan of college football are adrift right now. Adrift in recrimination, scandal, and sort of lost.
Just wait until Marcus Freeman coaches the Giants, though. Then we're really going to have to unpack a lot.
I think Kevin Stefanski might coach the Giants. We'll see. Go ahead, Andy. What are you saying?
I heard from you that there was a book signing, a book event that was canceled.
They walked it back. Yeah.
They canceled the book event because the guys on the CFP committee.
Ivan Maisel, yeah.
Do you think we could fill in with the egg book?
We could go. I don't know if they appreciate our stances on their sort of whiny campaign of the last 3 days, but yeah, we're available to sign. Friday Golf book is out, and when we started this podcast, we did the 10-year thing. Everybody go listen to Friday. I know Andy's incredible achievement. He's made it 10 years here, like really, truly remarkable. Shotgun Start is not nearly that old. It's old, but not nearly that old.
It's getting there.
But when we started this podcast, remember there was this clamoring for merch, and we said we were going to just do brick and mortar. It's going to be one day there'll be a brick and mortar store with some merch. Remember? Well, Now, by the grace of God and hard work, we have an actual product in brick and mortar Dick's Golf Galaxy stores, the Fried Egg Volume 1. It's kind of incredible.
PJ went out to find them.
I did. There's one Golf Galaxy on Long Island. Took a drive out today. It's not close to where I live, so made the trek. Pulled up. A guy there was like, "Yeah, we have 3 books left." Took pictures of it for like a half hour and then left it on the shelf. So
3 books left. So there was some purchased already. That's great.
I'm wondering what the 2 fellas at Golf Galaxy who I interacted with had to say after they were like, "This guy just took pictures of this book on the shelf for a half hour and then left." But that's what we did.
You didn't buy a putter or a head cover or anything?
No. Pete Alonso jerseys were not on sale yet. So
okay.
What time of day was this that you were?
This was at probably like 4:00ish, 3:45.
Did you get any snacks on the way?
No, did not get any snacks. No snacks.
All right. I'm a big fan of Dick's. I love going to I should mind my language, or Dick's Sporting Goods, I should be clear. I was there on Monday. Let's not answer that.
How dare our enemies take this out of context?
PJ, I had a friend that recently played with one of your dad's best friends, and he got some PJ stories.
Okay.
But I'm going to save them for a rainy day.
I like it.
This is already daunting.
I heard a story about a baseball camp. We'll leave it at that, where your mom got mad at you about something.
I think I know the story you're referring to here.
Oh, that's good. You got some arrows in your quiver now, Andy.
This is not a good spot for me. I don't like being in this spot.
You're gonna be blackmailed. All right, we're gonna get to your review. We're doing this piecemeal. We're gonna get to Kevin Hawk here in a minute to finally talk and speak up about the Valspar. That was awful. We made you sit through like an hour, and I'm like, oh god, we got to go. The last episode, we're gonna get through the Masters. I think we'll see. Any news? Sungjae Im rumors to going to the Ironheads. Siwoo Kim rumors going to the Ironheads. The Siwoo Kim rumor still seems to be a live one. The Sungjae was denounced, denied, and repudiated immediately, or not in short order. But yeah, it's hot stove season, I guess, for Liv. I think the Akshay dalliance has ended and is not going to be consummated, from what I understand. But yeah, they're poking around.
I got a press release that he was a big commitment to the Amex.
Oh,
They were
really?
they were getting puffy with their chest about Akshay committing.
Going to the American Express. Yeah. Any? Do you have any reaction to Siwoo potentially leaving? Sanjay, his name being mentioned, but definitely, denied so far.
Sanjay honestly would make me a little sadder just because I like watching Sanjay more. I've never really vibed with Siwoo.
God, I've been the only Siwoo defender for years. The players, the blog cabin players, when every journalist in the press center was exhaling, I was triumphantly cheering. Happy that Siwoo won with excellence that week.
Was there like a famous free agent signing went to like honestly like the most decrepit franchise was like, I'm gonna be the guy to turn around the Clippers, or I'm gonna be the guy that can finally get a so and so on the right path for some amount of, because the Ironheads.
Chris Bryant's a big one, just toiling away with degenerative back issues in Colorado.
When Reggie White signed with the Packers, it was like a huge, seismic shift in the NFL. It was like, why would anyone sign with the Packers? The Packers never had signed a free agent in their whole life.
What about when the Bulls sent Benny the Bull to greet I think it was Tracy McGrady or Grant Hill but he didn't sign, and they got Ron Mercer instead.
Benny the Bull didn't get it done. I mean, imagine sending the mascot. You're like, all right, there we go.
They sent him to the airport to greet. I think it was Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady.
That's one of these weird rituals of these college football, and they all do the same thing now. When you sign the new coach, they get off the private jet, and there's like the cheerleaders, doing the pom-pom tunnel and the band. And the first person they greet is this like big furry animal mascot. And they're like in their coat and tie. It's like, here, I'm making $10 million a year now. Let me hug this tiger animal, tiger or whatever, Florida Gator, Al the Gator. It's so ridiculous that the sort of pomp and circumstance. Anyways, Benny the Bull didn't get it done. Ironheads, we'll see. They're trying to poke around. They're a disaster. They're just so bad, embarrassing. Kevin Na just wandering in the wilderness. Let's get to your review. Should we jump in? Anybody have any other news? Any other news? Okay. By the time this gets released, who knows what will happen? Maybe a third Michigan coach will be fired. I think it's kind of amazing that Ryan Day has outlasted now multiple Michigan coaches. Yeah, when he was like, 1 foot or he was on the chopping block. Kind of amazing. So
this is the kind of thing where though, if Moore was like a better, more successful, like they would have figured out a way to make this go away. Like that's just how college football is.
It's a for cause kind of from the for cause fairy sprinkled some. Like, all right, bye. We're not on the hook. See ya. And he wasn't good enough to keep to try and hide it. So, all right, let's go to Valspar, the paint classic, the paint can classic in the Tampa Bay area. Kevin, we're ceding the floor to you. Let us know what we need to know about this.
It's time for AJ Hawk to cook.
Some people were telling me that I was like the closer who didn't get brought in. Like I warmed up last time and the game got out of hand and like I just got the night off. So it was great. Yes, Valspar week. Just like some minor cleanup. I listened this morning to where I had to step away and Peach brought up the Devil Wears Prada stuff, which was delightful. I did. Just the one other thing I wanted to add to that is that when Roy revealed that on Monday out in his press afterwards, Gabby Herzig was in such a blender that she forgot her follow-up question, which prompted Roy to say, "You're still thinking about the Devil Wears Prada, aren't you?" Which got a good laugh from the room. Roy did a little sort of thing with Johnson Wagner where he kind of went out and then recreated the shot into 17. It like a pretty good, we didn't have audio of this, but a pretty good moment where Roy said he was just trying to hit a nice calm little 8-iron, a calm little 9-iron, and Johnson Wagner was like, wait, did you say calm? Over and over again.
Didn't understand the Irish accent.
No, okay. No. But in the Valspar week, the second trailer for Happy Gilmore drops are in this week, prompting a bunch of questions about Will Zalatoris' acting. So he does a little thing where he puts on the caddy bib and the sort of pro-am Valspar and says, "I was born to play this role." Just some thirsty content there for the the Happy Gilmore people.
Forgot about Happy Gilmore. It didn't stick in my brain like he thought it might. Making its imprint on the cultural zeitgeist.
Truly could not tell you the plot of Happy Gilmore.
Will Knights is here to defend it. I'm going to defend it for Will.
I enjoyed it. I just thought it was like kind of forgettable, but I enjoyed it while I was watching it.
It's fine. Yeah. It was a big buildup. Yep.
Guys, Neil Shipley shows up to Valspar, and he has lost a ton of weight since we've seen him last. He does a little interview this week where the person's like, "Oh, what's your go-to Waffle House order?" And he says, "Yeah, it's changed actually a lot since Full Swing was filming at Augusta. I've since gotten on a nutritionist, and we're cutting out a lot of things in our diet. But the OG order was an all-star special with a chocolate chip waffle. I would go hash browns, scrambled eggs, usually sausage, and white toast. And I would use the toast, eggs, and sausage, and I would cut the sausage in half because you get two, and it would kind of make eggs turn into a little sandwich. So like a little breakfast sandwich, and then the chocolate chip waffle. That was my big go-to."
That's a lot.
That is a lot. We used to have kind of heavy golfers before woke happened, and now we're all skinny. So
I'll say this though, it's child's play compared to our own PJ Clark. He scoffs at this order from Neil Shipley. He put ice cream on top of that whole order.
I was going to say, I mean, that order is probably more food than I eat in like a week. But when I have the opportunity to have a waffle with ice cream on it, I will not.
You'll go deep into it.
He was in college. If you're eating like really responsible in college, I used to hit up versions on it.
I used to hit up the Denny's pretty hard in Missoula, Montana. That was, grilled cheese. You get like a grilled cheese for $2 and a hot corn dog for $2. So you get a really good meal for $4. Was a steal. So I feel you, Neil. Just a few shotgun start notes here. You guys spent the first 12 minutes talking about which actor would play Blocky in the Blocky biopic. If you ever wonder why pods occasionally go long, that was a delightful re-listen. Also, in light of last week's, Andy having a confrontation, as Trevor would call it, with the PGA Tour people about the AI setup tool. Andy asked ChatGPT to explain and defend the rough around the 17th hole at Sawgrass.
Forgot about that.
Which I won't go into in detail, but it was made for a delightful bit of listening, hearing that the rough was a strategic thing that the players had to avoid standing on 17T.
We got to do more playing with AI. Just to show how preposterous it can be.
Live Singapore was watched by 30. Go ahead.
I think you should upload your swing to ChatGPT and see what it suggests.
How would you fix this swing? Listen, that sounds like great content. We're gonna have to figure out the best way to go about that. Will ChatGPT study an image and give? I didn't know. I don't know enough about it to what its limitations are.
Let me tell you a little bit about how I've been using it lately.
Okay.
We have a mold problem in my house.
Okay.
And I've been sending it pictures and asking about what's going on in this picture.
Is this mold?
And it's been pretty amazing. It's pretty dialed in. I'll tell you what.
You wouldn't know. You're none the wiser. It could tell you anything. You're not a mold expert. It's probably
I'll tell you what. It's worked out pretty well.
Okay.
It's giving you good recommendations about what you should do. It doesn't just say pack up and move, Andy, get out of there now.
I mean, you're talking about remediation, and I don't know shit about remediating mold.
Yeah.
And it's these are this is what you need to do to remediate mold.
So
I'm not reading from some mold remediator's website who has inherent bias into getting me to do ridiculous shit to remediate the mold.
Interesting.
I did see where Sam Altman said that he could not imagine raising children without ChatGPT. Brendan, our resident, he said that he just could not. He has a newborn, and he could not imagine basically parenting without being able to ask ChatGPT lots of questions. So.
God, I haven't asked ChatGPT one thing about parenting.
Well, we just opened up a big box for you there. You could really dig in on this.
Stuff's some of it's pretty weird if you're getting, Anyway, we just
back to
heard
your
what it
interview.
says about the 17th rough, so I think I'm dubious of its opinion on anything else. I'm out, maybe. All right, go ahead.
Live Singapore was watched by 34,000 people. Josh Carpenter continued to tag Porath in these ratings tweets.
Why?
Which, he did not love.
Just
brings about all the morons who want to fight about live things.
God, I might start doing that. It's just sending some preposterous, put some just ridiculous stuff up on Twitter that I know people will go nuts about, but tag other people into it. So they just get dragged into the mentions as well that I don't pay attention to.
1.5 million people watched the Players on Monday, which is pretty darn good for a Monday morning. A couple 3 holes there. And then Atlanta advanced to face New York in the first ever TGL championship match. I did have just one sort of fun visual here from the semifinal match. Justin Thomas hit sort of a wild shot that looked like it was going into the hazard. It took an absurd kick that defied all physics and gravity and bounced back. And then this was Rory's reaction to it there. PG, you mentioned he's wearing a little slacket here. Is that what that's called?
He's got a shacket on. He drives up to the drives over to the SoFi Dome after winning the Players, and he's wearing a shacket. He's got Gold Boy on the table talking to Matt Barry and Marty, and he's wearing a shacket on Monday night.
The result of these matches prompted Andy to refer to Billy Horschel as the Tom Brady of TGL, a true leader of men.
Just wait till the final.
Leader of men.
I just here as an observer, can't comment one way or another about Tom Brady.
I was going to save this, but I think, I don't know if you'll be here when we do the memorial breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Is Billy the best available American Ryder Cup captain?
Ooh, that's a great question.
It's a pod for another day, but it's a good question. Best available?
Best available.
He's never played in the Ryder Cup.
I don't care. You know, there are a lot of great coaches. Eric Spoelstra didn't play in the NBA.
It's true.
Sean McVay didn't play in the NFL.
It's not my rationale for why they can or can't. That's generally how.
Don't you think Billy would potentially walk himself into some verbal gaffes, though? The Euros took one little snippet of what Keegan said and basically made it their whole little mantra. I think Billy would be throwing out a lot of takes that potentially get him in trouble.
He would call him all buddy.
He was out there
he softens it with the buddy.
He was there all weekend. And I mean, he was there. He wasn't just coming to shake some hands in the Ralph Lauren booth. He was walking with all the matches.
I think he's made for team sports.
I agree. I would love it. Look, they don't have a lot to lose going to Europe. They're going to lose. Well, so they might as well take a flyer again. Although that is probably what's kind of gone wrong with the Americans. They have no plan. So they just keep throwing Hail Mary balls over and over, hoping that one of them will connect.
The problem is Billy should play on the team.
Yeah, he should.
He would have played on this year's team if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Yeah,
right.
Could be Tiger. We'll see.
Guys, fresh off a pretty garbage performance at the Players, Viktor Hovland breaks up with another coach and announces that he's working with Grant Waite. This is just a very good sort of Hovland quote that sort of sets up the week. He says, "I don't want to jinx it, but I think we discovered something. Not to get super technical, but I've been looking for a transition that I've always had my whole life and never had to think about it. Now it's not occurring. It's because my wrist angles have changed. I always had a bowed left wrist. I'm doing less of that, and it affects how I'm torquing the club in the downswing and in transition. Now I've discovered something. As soon as I set into more flexion and off the ball and maintain it there, a lot of the same movements are coming back. It feels super foreign because I haven't done it in a long time. I've seen a lot of good shots on the range. Old video confirms that movement, so I just need to stay on top of that." Perhaps a little bit of foreshadowing here for the week to come.
Yeah.
And as we've said many times, nobody's more fun to listen to talk about the golf swing than Viktor Hovland at this point. Just no filter, basically, is just going to tell you all the weird shit that he's working on.
Yeah.
Scottie does his Zoom presser sort of in prep for the Masters. His Masters menu comes out, and he says he's serving meatballs and ravioli. A little bit of an Easter egg there for you. He does not apparently hold a grudge against ravioli for nearly ending his career earlier this year.
How did they roll it? Did they go horizontally, or did they use the stem of the wine glass to
That's a good
press
question. They probably have a whole team of special ravioli makers at Augusta to.
I think they probably go this way.
So anyway, everyone noticed that the menu is essentially the same as previous, but except for he has dropped the tortilla soup from the menu after too many players complained about how spicy it was the previous year. A lot of the olds could not handle the tortilla soup.
These guys just want like tuna salad on a saltine cracker. Is what these like tortilla soup too spicy? Good
They were
Lord.
complaining about ROMs, right?
Yes, not nearly as much. Honestly, the most complaints they ever got was VJ's very spicy dinner. That was like where people were, like ordering off the main menu, off their like red menu because they didn't want to do. Everyone seemed Rom seemed to got like rave reviews. Everyone thought it was delightful. Right? Yeah. So,
wonder what Rory's going with.
That's a great question. I'm sure there'll be a lot of catnip.
There'll be content. There will be content. We know that.
He owes me carrot cake. Remember that long thread I had about carrot cake and him all those years ago? As he said that was what he was going to serve. We'll see if that holds up.
Oh, okay.
Carrot cake's bomb.
Carrot cake is bomb. We might have to. If you're listening, Rory, better live up to that. Because
we did.
Send us some carrot cake.
What if Rory rolls up outside the Masters with a couple slices of carrot cake for us?
Come by the house.
It's true.
Jeff Ogilvy's come by our house before.
Scottie replaces the tortilla soup with Texas chili. Karen. Guys, during this week, a little bit of interesting podcast production here. PJ produced the podcast from a boat where he was definitively not looking like a boat guy, but he was sailing to watch the Johnnies, and so he was working on that. At the game, he apparently also caught the Geico Gecko parachute. Is that correct, Peach?
I did. They were launching Geico Geckos during the Arkansas Kansas game, and I caught one. Thought it was a good luck sign. That was wrong. The wrongest that anybody has ever been about anything, arguably.
I appreciate that you can podcast produce from anywhere. That's an incredible skill.
Listen.
That picture looks like when I asked one of my kids, like, force them, you got to smile for this picture, and then they go, like, stare at it. You don't look comfortable. You're not a boat boy.
This is furthest thing from a boat boy.
Yeah.
Negative boat.
Guys, also in this Scottie sort of discussion, sort of previewing the Masters, talking about his menu and all that, Scottie gets increasingly, I think, a little bit pointed is the way to describe it, about the fracture in golf, because people keep asking, like, when things will come back together. And Scottie says a version of what he already said at the Players last week, but it gets a little bit more pointed. He said, they did what they wanted to do. I can't control their life. I'm not going to sit here and say they should have done something differently. They made their choice. If we want to figure out why the game of golf is back together, go ask those guys. Go wherever they're playing this week and figure out when the game is going to come back. The go wherever they're playing this week was a nice little. Not even. I don't think Scottie even has like a mean bone in his body about that. But it's just the way that it kind of reads on the page feels a lot more pointed. Probably. Yes. Yeah. In other woke news, Charlie Hall announces she has quit smoking. Today she says, I made a decision to stop smoking, and I'm going to do a 10 grand bet. If I pick up a cigarette in the next 2 months, I'm going to owe you 10 grand. I don't know who this was exactly intended to, nor do I care that much. You guys got a lot of good mileage about Bobby Mack flying from Jacksonville to Singapore to compete in some tournament over there. I didn't follow the thread exactly, but a lot of discussion about how many direct flights there were from Jacksonville to Singapore. But let's kick off what
Definitely
the actual
which direction
tournament.
it would fly in.
Yes, that was what. And I actually, I looked this up. They don't fly over the South Pole. The flights do fly over the South Pole, but there's so far away from airports that and the potential for rescue is zero if anything goes wrong over the South Pole. And so there's some flights that go along the edges of Antarctica, but not actually fly over the top like they do over the North
Educational.
Pole. Trying my best.
So are you saying they don't fly south, but they might fly north
They might fly north. Yeah. There's, you can land in Reykjavik or something, or Oslo if things go bad, but there's nothing down there like out, past like Buenos Aires or like,
Patagonia.
Patagonia. Guys.
Well, there's Chile.
There is Chile, but
we got to get through the Masters. We got to get through the Masters. Let's keep going.
Guys, in one of the best visuals of the year, once the tournament starts, Patton Kizzire goes full Ray guy and punts his putter into the sky.
I forgot
after missing a short par putt. It is one of those things where, like, the physics of it had to line up exactly perfectly, because if you kick the putter like on the end of the putter is just going to go forward. If you kick the putter, on the end that's further away from you, it's going to kind of go backwards. But he manages to catch the putter right in the sort of like apex point where the weight is equally distributed, and the putter goes maybe 50 feet in the air. I mean, it is an incredible act of athleticism just to be able to do this. And the fine people of Scratch are the only ones who are allowed to sort of post this and keep it up, because everything gets sort of DMCA'd.
He's a 3-time winner on the PGA Tour, and a little bit earlier today. Fellas.
The hang time.
You don't want to see that.
Auditioning maybe for his NFL
You can do
career.
that, again, if you try.
That was about that would have been the field goal.
It does make this putt with the wedge.
Are your Bucks looking for a kicker?
No, I think they're comfortable with who they have.
Patton ended up with
maybe that's why he wins. Why he wins in October.
Very difficult 2025 for the Auburn Tigers.
Sometimes when you don't have field, you just try to get field position back. You try to just, get your team in a spot to rally. Maybe that was what it was. You're going to regroup.
Ray guy. It's always the go-to punter. It's kind of fun.
It is the go-to punter. I mean, he's like an all-time great punter. What name another punter?
Reggie Roby.
Reggie Roby was good. Yeah, obviously.
Shane Leckler.
Okay. We could just sit here and name punters for a while. So we could name anybody but Pat. He's the most famous punter, and probably the richest punter of all time.
Brothers, there's 4 of them or whatever. It's from coming out of the hills of Tennessee, just booting balls. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Family of punters.
This is notable because in these episodes that I re-listened to about this week, you guys named like college basketball players, for just random college basketball players. Forever.
Yep.
Guys, Xander comes out and shoots 70 in the first round, which is notable because he shot 77-81 at the Players over the weekend. He's describing his golf as really bad and pretty gross, to be honest, at this point. Interesting. Xander will actually have a pretty good week. We'll have the highest strokes gained approach number of his entire career this week. So he also found a little something. JJ Spawn goes on foreplay and talks about hitting it into the water over 17 green in the playoff. Says he was hitting warm-ups 8-iron and it was going 128 yards into the wind. I can relate to that, baby. 8-irons that go 130. That's sick. The pin was 130. He said, I already knew what I was hitting. I didn't care what Rory was hitting, but I looked just to gauge the kind of shot that I hit was going to determine whether it was right distance. Rory's 2 clubs longer than me. He's one of the longest guys on tour, and everybody knows that. People are like, oh, he hit 9-iron, you hit an 8-iron. Yo, what? You don't know shit. I'm happy with the swing I put on it. I executed how I wanted to. I was 1 down. I had to hit a good shot. I wanted to go for the win. It just didn't work out how I expected it to. So that.
Candid.
Guess who's charging up the leaderboard? Viktor Hovland. What a surprise. In fact, even a surprise to Hovland, because he said when they asked him about it, I hit a lot of bad shots in the Pro-Am, so this is a surprise. Early in the week, Jeremy Paul, the lost Paul brother, is high on the leaderboard.
Jake's brother.
Jake and Logan's brother. Is it the lesser known of the Pauls? Guys, an interesting situation unfolds on the cut line on Friday. This is, again, why cuts are fun. Neil Shipley, as previously mentioned, the skinny Neil Shipley is sitting at +1 when he's playing the 9th hole, and he drives it into a fairway bunker and has to pitch out. He hits it onto the green, and it's getting pretty dark because it's like 7:46 at this point. He has a chance to get up and down, and if he does, 12 guys who are sitting at +2 will go home and don't make the cut. But if he misses, those 12 guys get to play the weekend. Michael Kim is at the airport and he's sitting in the rental car line, refreshing his phone over and over to see if Shipley will make this putt. And he's hoping that he decides to putt it either way, because if he goes into the morning, all these guys will have to sit around at the Valspar and wait to see if they're going. And then you get Neil Shipley misses. And so Kim turns around and drives back to his hotel. Turns out after 2 rounds, Viktor Hovland is winning. He is tied for the lead. And he talks about losing his swing and what it is like to go through sort of the mental demons. It sucks. You have an ability that you can almost sometimes take for granted. You just wake up every day and you stand over the ball and you just expect the ball to start in that direction and go that direction and end up somewhere close to the hole. And then it starts not to do that. And it's pretty frustrating. You start thinking things you've never thought before. And this game becomes infinitely more challenging, and it's already challenging. So it's really humbling. And, just kind of handling these moments. I mean, there's a lot of lessons to be learned there. I still don't know exactly where the ball is going to start and curve and all that stuff. But if you're hitting solid shots, I guess that's a good start, especially out here when the wind is starting to blow. Guys, this week was a great thing for yet another really fun social video moment. Adam Hadwin is walking in frustration towards the green after a bad chip, smashes his club down, and a sprinkler explodes and water goes everywhere, which I believe AJ has. Really the best part about that is like the moment of like, I've fucked this up really bad. Like, what can I do? Can I stand on the sprinkler? Can I get down here and try to jigger it and fix it? This prompts a lot of funny tweets from his wife, who sort of posts a tweet about it has been 0 days since we've had any incidents of rage at our house, which is quite good. Shane Ryan had a very funny tweet. He said, getting tackled by the security guard was Adam Hadwin's OK computer, but this is going to be his kid A. Speaking of Radiohead albums, if you're not familiar, it will get less praise, but with time, we might come to see it as his greater work. That was sweet. Jessica
between Mike Kim at the airport and Adam Hadwin making hijinks. Good week for tour tweeters. Adam Hadwin's wife and Michael Kim. Very prolific week.
She's a member of the media.
That's true.
She is. Jessica will later point out the week that the various tweets about this thing that she retweeted got something like 5 million impressions or whatever, and it added a total of $7 into her verified Twitter funds. So if you're looking out there to make big bucks by hustling on Twitter and getting people to do views, Jessica was kind of like, it's not the best way to scrape $1 together. Just randomly, guys, I don't know why this picture was posted during this week, but John Gruden posted a picture of he and Craig Stadler hanging out with some Hooters girls. Literally don't even know if this is at the Valspar.
I think he was. Yeah,
it is at the Valspar.
Yeah, Gruden.
So it turns out Hovland wins the Valspar. If you recall, he's down like, what is it here? He's down basically like 3 with 5 to play, and Justin Thomas is leading. It looks like Justin Thomas is going to snap his long streak to be down, 3 shots with 5 to play, and he rallies with 3 birdies to pass JT and close with a 4 under 67 for a 1-shot victory. It's hard to even blame JT though. He did hit a couple bad drives late, but it just Viktor kind of had one of the shots of the year on 16. Hit a 7-iron from 185 yards to 5 feet. And he said, I hit a lot of disgusting shots out there today, but they also happened to go where I looked. It's been quite a struggle for the year and a half. So for me to come back and win this tournament is quite incredible. I was not very hopeful with my game leading into the week, which just shows that the game is pretty crazy. I wasn't even sure I was going to show up, but I'm glad I did. Hovland later told Dan Rappaport that his thought on the 16, on the 7-iron that he hit on the hardest hole on the Copperhead course was I tried to stall my body, time up my hands, and just hope that it goes straight. And he hit that to 5 feet, which is awesome. He was asked afterwards if, people thought, that he kind of got lost in trying to be a perfectionist and if that was a bad thing. And Viktor said, I just view it as if you put your heart and soul into doing something, you might as well do it right. I kind of feel like it's weird. It kind of feels weird that we're professional athletes and people are wanting to improve. And sometimes they look at it like, oh, he's a perfectionist. he's out on the perimeter searching too much. Well, and then he said, it's like, that's what we do. We're here trying to get better, and we're here to try to win tournaments. So if you're not trying to get better, what are we doing? Good quote by Viktor, I thought there.
Yep.
In other news, Mexico's Carlos Ortiz holds off Patrick Reed to win the International Series in Macau, presented by Wynn, of course, on a closely fought battle of live golf stars. In addition to this, 3 guys qualify for the Open Championship at Royal Portrush. Excuse me, I dropped their names in my summary. I think it was Korak and one of the other ones. Anyway, the kind of part of the news here is that Sergio Garcia finishes 1 stroke out. He even though he shot a 65, he missed a 3-footer for birdie on the last hole, which would have tied him with Kokrak and for 3rd place and gotten him into the Open. So he doesn't get to get a berth in the Open that way. A few other loose ends from the Valspar. Billy Ho hits a left-handed shot on the par 5 here that has everyone raving. He kind of hit it behind a tree.
I remember this.
On the 5th hole, and he just turned the club over and took a swing with the toe of the club that is truly better than any wedge shot I've ever hit in my life.
So
hitting it left-handed, hit it to feet, and then made the birdie.
So good. He was way left in some trees, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Also during this week, Jordan Spieth was up against the grandstand trying to hit a flop shot and lets out an all-time fuck.
Oh, yeah.
When it doesn't go well and a fan captures it. The best part of the video, if you go back and find it, is he kind of shouts it at the ground. Like he was furious at the grass for sort of wronging him somehow. As I said before, Xander Schauffele gained 11.276 strokes approach, the highest total he ever has had in his career on the PGA Tour. And the biggest news of the week, guys, comes late Sunday night when everyone is kind of done talking about golf. It is Tiger Woods goes Instagram official with his girlfriend, Vanessa Trump. Love is in the air, as it says, and life is better with you by my side. We look forward to our journey through life together. At this time, we would appreciate privacy for all those close to our hearts. Weirdly, he never even names her. It doesn't even say like who Vanessa is. You just sort of have the assumption. I guess she's so famous she doesn't need an introduction. One of my favorite things about this tweet, though, is you have Ivanka Trump saying, "I'm so happy for you." And then you have Snoop Dogg replying to the thing saying, "Yo, check your DMs, Tiger."
How about Roland Martin?
Roland Martin also saying, why'd you post it if you wanted to act for whatever? I can't read quite as it says.
We asked for privacy.
Keep that
and
shit
post
to
a
yourself.
photo. Just keep that shit to yourself. Roland Martin, former CNN contributor. Love is in the air with you by my side. Like, who's the poet that came up with that?
I gotta think this. Do you think Tiger posted this himself? Like,
no.
You don't?
No.
The syntax is so bad, and like the combination of like switching point of views, like is saying with you by my side, talking to Vanessa.
From what I remember,
it pivots back to the audience.
This dropped at exactly 7 p.m. on Sunday night, which means it was scheduled ahead of time.
Yes.
So it could have been written by Tiger and the social media people just picked the time to do it. But I remember we were about to record and it landed exactly on the 0. And we were like, oh my God. And then quickly put it together that it was definitely scheduled well in advance.
The Daily Mail had a little more information about this. Apparently he called Elin shortly after they started dating so that some of this stuff would not become as a surprise. The Daily Mail says Tiger and Elin are supportive of each other. But her response at first was like, seriously? A Trump? For real? The Daily Mail says she was more amused than anything, but she quickly accepted it. They're not the type to give each other their blessing per se, but they keep each other in the loop with anyone who is going to spend any amount of time around the kids, in case carpool situations or whatever is necessary there at the Benjamin School. This is my own commentary here, guys. Like, Tiger just loves like ladies of convenience, right? Like he married his friend's nanny. He hooked up with waitresses, like the server at Denny's. Lindsey Vonn, he met at his charity event. He dated his restaurant manager for many years. And now like he and Vanessa, their kids go to school together. Like love you, Tiger, but like it seems like just kind of whatever the ladies are around, like that's the most easy way for Tiger to fall in love. And then lastly, just to sort of wrap up the week, this news breaks right as you guys are wrapping up recording. Noah Khan has replaced Ray Charles as ESPN's Georgia on My Mind singer for their Masters coverage.
PJ's a happy boy.
I mean, even Peach was a little conflicted about this. Yeah, I mean, like Peach, Noah Khan's a Vermont guy. Like part of the thing with Ray Charles is like from Georgia. Like that was sort of spoke to something deeper about, that the Masters was all of our thing.
And from my recollection, I don't think I fought you in March on this, and I'm certainly not fighting you now. I mean, listen.
Listen, I would do my Noah Khan impression of him singing Georgia on My Mind, but nobody wants that. Maybe that'll be behind the paywall. But that wraps up Valspar week. I'm sure I missed some stuff here and there, but we need to get on to the Masters.
Congrats to Viktor Hovland.
Incomprehensible Hovland win almost. So nobody expected that and gets it done. That was a good event. That was like a quality golf shots between JT and
JT spoke to the media too. That was a big deal.
Because
the one thing you missed, because it came right after the Morikawa stuff, and he had a gut wrench, and he's like, "It's really hard to be up here right now."
Yeah,
I'm really mad. I'm really upset. But he talks to the media, and everybody's like, "What a great pro!
Yeah, what a great guy!"
Yeah,
what a hero.
Talking to the media, even after a disappointing loss. Like,
the courage.
Everybody dunking on Morikawa.
A true courageous act.
All right, we're gonna swing out of Florida to Texas. Let's get going in Texas. All right, we're done with the Florida swing for now. I think for the year. I don't think we go back to Florida. We're not going to get to the Grant Thornton Invitational in the year in review. I know that much. So no more Florida golf. But we're going to go out to Texas, do a little Texas two-step, come back to the Masters. But first, let's talk about our friends at Bedrati. And we don't say the word friends lightly. They are actual friends of the program, have been. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary. Andy is here with Fried Egg. It's 10 years since the first email went out, December 9th of 2015. And they gave us a nice little shout out. Congrats to our friends. We go way back with them. We were doing, podcasts with them before the Shotgun Start existed, right? In your first original Masters house. What year was that? We went 18? Was it?
It wasn't my Masters house. I stayed on the couch of their house.
That's right. That's right. So we go
couch surfing.
We
couch surfing in Augusta. I think that was 2017.
17. Might have been Sergio year. I think that might be right. So we go way back with Billy, Jack, the whole group at Bedrati. Promo code goes way back. SGS 30. You get 30% off. There's still time. Plenty of time to get it shipped and delivered before Christmas. I'm wearing a Proctor hoodie right now. It's part of their Elijah Craig comp or collaboration. It's got a little cocktail glass, highball glass logo, kind of cool on the chest. But that you can peruse the whole section. Get them the can't misses are the Liam polo, the Andy hoodie, the everyday vest. But they've got a lot of cool new fall and layering gear that would go well.
They got the Eli vest, I think it is. The Eli vest. I've had my eyes on that. I think it's named after Eli Manning. I would imagine.
I imagine. Could be.
Giants, great.
Could be. Is he in the Hall of Fame yet? I know that's going to be a hot subject of debate.
This year, I believe.
Okay.
His first year.
So where would Eli rank among Jets QBs?
First? What?
He'd be behind Namath, right?
Really? What?
He's got 2 rings. Namath has 1. Joe Namath's stats are actually terrible.
Come on with the stats. This is complete indifferent. This is such
different eras.
This is such a Z thing to do. It's like, there were
a lot of interceptions.
It's like
different time.
Say Bryson's a better golfer than Jack because he hits.
No, I never said that. I said Joe Namath threw a lot of interceptions, which is a fact. It's a factual statement.
Well,
regardless, this is an epidemic with the Z's.
Regardless of where Eli may fall in the Jets,
he's got 2 rings. Namath has 1. That's the end of the conversation.
Hypothetical.
Namath has 1 with the Jets, though.
That is,
and could possibly be the reason why that's the only one in franchise history. Some have said. not a conspiracy guy.
Did Namath get a Lucas Beauregard comp? Wasn't he part of that whole essay? I mean, Eli doesn't have that going for him. But either way, go to beadraddy.com. Use the promo code SGS30 whether you get the Eli vest or any other item. Great gift option, high quality and supporting good people. All right, let's get to Houston. Silent H. We're not in Humble anymore.
Houston.
we're not in Humble, Texas. We're in Houston at the Memorial Park.
As is the theme with this early year in review, and what I'm blaming the slow pace at which we're going at. We're not going to Houston. You know where we're going? We're going to the SoFi Dome.
Oh God! You know, when we started this, we didn't have Live. Like, there's a Live smorgasbord every week, it feels like, and now we have TGL just completely jamming us here in Q1. All right, go ahead. We're going to the SoFi Dome.
It was TGL Finals. The drive squared off against PJ's New York Golf Club. The Cinderella story of the TGL, but they ran into the greatest TGL player of all time, Billy Horschel, in his arena, and guess what? Didn't go well for New York. Billy delivers the moment of TGL.
To win the hole in 2 points. Does Horschel do it again?
Yes! Throws his putter. Just a man in the arena.
Look, he was galloping a horse, like 2 feet hot step across the green. Amazing. Billy boy throws the putter and the hat.
They should just build the whole boat out of Billy. There's nobody else. What else are we gonna do here?
I think it should be Billy Horschel Arena presented by SoFi at this point.
I mean, he's got to get a statue at the very least.
Put a name up in the. Rumors unsubstantiated. Like there might be like a rafter ceremony to start season 2.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unsubstantiated.
Yes. I cannot wait.
Billy
Cannot
up
wait
in the rafter.
for the rafter ceremony.
We'll see. Unsubstantiated. All right.
BP, you had a great tweet right after Billy does this. Cantlay with a deadpan. Billy, well done. After he was done dancing around and chest bumping JT,
Right.
you said it absolutely killed me. Just Cantlay going, Billy, well done.
Well done, Billy. As he's hopping around like a madman. That's good.
Billy's quotes after were just sensational. The question, Billy, you said you blacked out, but is there anything you remember that you yelled in that moment? And where does it rank as far as you going crazy on a golf course? Where does that rank in your career? Yeah, I yelled, this is my effing house multiple times. I didn't say effing. So just JT goes, they picked up on that, Billy, I think. Billy, I just want to make sure. Hopefully Jeff hit that little delay button a little bit.
My effing.
It was fun. That moment was awesome. Walking off the green, Ricky goes to me. He's like, that was like the 07 Walker Cup. We played together in foursomes matches. There were a couple moments where I was pretty boisterous, and one of them was on Sunday. I hit a great bunker shot 30 yards away, and I was looking up and going out, and I came out like a gazelle running down the hill thinking it was going in and yelling and everything. Yeah, I've done some crazy. These guys are laughing at it. Listen, blackout moments. I don't ever plan it. It just sort of happens. I'll just stop talking now. After the live show we did after, are we going live after TGL this winter?
That's TBD. We'll see.
Just things that like ruin your life at home.
Yeah.
TGL.
Tuesday Night Lives.
I deemed him on the live show after a lock at Bethpage because of his TGL performance. I teased this out just the previous, but I just think he'd be the best captain. He was a galvanizing force.
I was going to say, you want people to rally around a single human being. I think Billy might be the best option.
Brentley had a great tweet right after this. Where during it, Marty Smith called it a football crowd tonight at the SoFi, and then Matt Berry added, "Think Baton Rouge at night."
Come on, I'm serious. Come on. It's just not remotely accurate. Okay.
I think like we're far enough we're far enough removed that we forget just how awful the commentary was for
Baton
TGL.
Rouge at night.
Like just how preposterous. They almost made Arlo White seem grounded.
Do you believe it? Yeah.
Like it was over the top, ridiculously bad.
Well, I have great news. 17 days from this very moment, we'll be back. We're far enough removed, but we're coming all the way back around now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, it's just around the corner. Is Marty Smith back?
Presumably. Yeah. I think
Did they add a second voice for Matt Berry, or does he have to sit there and?
I think they were, I don't know, deliberating different combos.
It feels like Kirk Herbstreit could get in there.
Oh
do it.
God!
He just needs another job.
The dog all over the turf. Do we want that? Really?
Who'd be the worst case scenario for the second chair?
I mean,
I've got one. Just
Stephen A.
Go ahead. Who's
TJ Khaled.
TJ.
That's not.
It'd be available, I think.
Not be a good option. No.
All right. There's this story that goes nuts. Everybody breaks it as breaking news. Nance announces he'll retire from calling the Masters in 2036, which would be his 51st tournament calling the Masters and the 100th edition of the Masters. And everybody's like, breaking news. And Josh Carpenter reveals it's a 10-year-old story.
It was like a Guy Yoakum interview or something from like 10 years ago. Ridiculous.
We covered this in the last one, but the Sticks boy is, the Georgia on the Vine.
Yeah.
BP, you said they got a guy from New England wearing chunky flannels, making sad boy music to sing Georgia on the Mind for the Masters.
People like that. We're worked up.
Big surprise here. Ratings for the Valspar. NBC draws a 2.187. This is Josh Carper. 2.187 million viewers for Viktor Hovland's win at the Valspar on Sunday. No streaming included in that number, which is up 15% from 1.886 last year. Do you know who the champion of the Valspar before was? Yeah.
I think I know. Peter doesn't write.
Liv announces the duels that will live on
amazing.
Grant Horvat's channel. It's a combination of a creator with a pro. Most of the creators are the creators that were playing just a couple weeks earlier in the Creator Classic.
Yep.
This would eventually lead to Wes Bryant's suspension from the PGA Tour for playing in duels. And just a side note that the duels absolutely, this comes a couple weeks later. The duels absolutely puts the Creator Classic in a body bag. Just zips it up.
Yeah. It's like they were shocked that the Liv deigned to do this, and of course, what do you have? You have full authority over Creator Classic style tournaments, and then I had no time.
A better format, a better delivery method, and just frankly, a way better product in terms of what they did. And the PGA Tour, though, they're going to keep trotting out the same tired old model.
We'll see. Who knows? 26 could be a different year. Maybe there's something else.
I wonder what Brian Rolap thinks of the Creator Classic.
That's an interesting question. We'll have to get him on the record. First question.
I mean, could golf do one of these Monsters Inc. broadcasts like they had going for Monday Night Football? My buddies' kids were watching it.
Yes, that's all my son. It was his birthday Monday, and that's what he wanted to do, was stay up late and watch the end of MNF, the Monsters Inc. broadcast. Yeah,
Like, I'm not going to tell the tour how to do their business, but doing something like that would be so much more worth the time than doing these creator classics.
I mean, they're pretty heavy lifts from what I understand, but like you kind of know when the golf is going to be. You know the schedule for the whole year. You know Saturday or Friday or whatever. Barring some weather catastrophe, you can do it. So, anyways,
Rory goes on a scouting trip to Augusta National. He says, "Nice to play a practice round without people around. Just makes him feel a little bit more comfortable. Lets him get in later." I think his caddy bib number, Harry's caddy bib number, was 87. Effectively the last person to show up at Augusta National. Okay. But he goes on the scouting trip ahead of time, kind of scouts it out. Tony Finau on Memorial Park. I don't think there's a better prep golf course leading up to the Masters than Memorial Park. It's a big golf course, and I think they try and set it up where it's similar to Augusta National, maybe to have guys play. Brooksy has an interview with Joe Pampliano.
Joe
Pompliano.
Whatever.
Brooks says Liv is behind where we should be.
Oh yeah.
Look, we're 4 years in. It's just getting its feet wet and figuring out what direction they want to go. Obviously, there's been a lot of change and hires of people within Liv, and now having Scott. I think Scott's a great guy, and he can lead Liv to where it needs to be, and where I think it should be, because we are behind. To be quite fair, behind where we should be. From bringing sponsors in to hitting the international market and the U.S. market. The new TV deal definitely helps, but we need to take that and expand it and grow it. We're not on Fox every time we play, so we've still got room to grow, but we've got the right people in charge now, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Not a huge ringing endorsement.
I'll spoil it. Like the next week that I think it's Live Miami, and he and Bryson are up there together, and like they ask like for the whole dais, and I think Ortiz or Neiman in between them. Like, what do you think of Liv now, 4 years in? And Bryson's like, oh, it's just momentum's incredible. Like, just getting better every year. We got it all figured out. It's going well. And then Bryce and Brooks like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've made some progress, but I think we're behind. You'd like to see it be better. Just like the contrast of like back to back of Bryson going boom, 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 and Brooks essentially what you just said, repeating it. I don't know. We're behind.
In other Liv news, one of our great long-standing podcast bits comes to fruition. Do you remember what this is, Brendan?
No. What are we talking about here? What are we going?
Sergio Garcia officially becomes an honorary Texan this week by the state of Texas legislature.
How did you find this? I totally forgot. Big Tex.
Big Tex is official. Years. I believe that the Big Tex nickname came on this podcast due to scripting for the Masters one year for Sergio. And you said something along the lines of, I mean, because he lives in Texas, do we have to dress him like a Texan? Big Tex.
He's Big Tex. Yeah.
So, playing the long game,
6
I think
years
that's probably
something.
7 years later.
Yeah. Honorary Texan.
He becomes an honorary Texan. It's just great fodder for this podcast.
That was good.
It's DLF week.
Oh, right. Chikara. Oh my God.
You tweet, White Lotus season 4 should be at DLF.
This was, I assume, when White Lotus was on. I found out, you know why it was? Because, the Duke meme when the dad is contemplating, ending it all in his Duke shirt, and like Duke loses in the Final Four. That's like all through Twitter and my research, that meme. Duke got very mad. I forgot White Lotus was hot this time of year.
Duke was so mad.
They were not happy
about him wearing a Duke shirt.
Not happy. Okay.
God, what a tough year for Duke. They win the ACC, don't get a bid.
All right.
And they don't win the NCAA basketball tournament with Cooper Flag.
All their
Don
games
Knipple.
got preempted by TGL on ESPN properties.
And then they have a guy putting a gun to his head on the hit TV show and wearing a big boisterous Duke shirt.
Well, he's a crook. Accused of being a crook. Okay.
So maybe 2025 was the year that society teamed up against Duke.
Duke and Notre Dame, if anything, if recent news is to be believed.
Yeah, Notre Dame thinks they had it bad. Let's show them Duke's year. Chikara wins at DLF, shoots 5 under. Next closest is -2. I didn't go all the way. I apologize. This is me issuing an apology. You had a great voice memo that you played on the shotgun start from a caddy.
Okay.
Talking about how preposterous DLF was.
Okay.
As a golf course.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
No,
go that far.
We don't need to go. It's Houston Memorial Week. We don't have to go. Didn't Bryson? Was this the week Bryson went
played
to
it. Yeah,
okay.
He talked about. God, I have it. So maybe it's unorganized here.
No, you're fine.
I might have it. He talked about just like how demanding it is. I swear I had it in
17.
Here. Yeah. Maybe I deleted it somehow. Dave Pelz died. That was sad. Let's get to Houston. Dave Pelz, obviously legendary short game instructor.
Yep.
Maybe one of the reasons Phil Mickelson went on to win as many majors as he did. Houston, Scottie is leading going into the weekend. It's kind of like the first time we're seeing Scottie be Scottie, but right. He gets taken over. He doesn't play great on the weekend, which maybe is a harbinger of what's to come at the Masters. Sure. And who wins? But none other than the chef, Chipinski. Chipinski gets called during the week. Minwoo wins. He is, he wins by 1. He has like a preposterously awful tee shot on 16 into the water that makes it close.
Okay.
But he's very aware of social media. It's part of what makes him, Generation Z's favorite golfer. He's always looking for the engagement. What does he do on the 72nd hole with his short putt? But he does. He's got about a 1 foot putt.
That's
right. And he goes up there and he fake aim points.
That's right. That was funny. There's
a little showmanship.
That was good.
And he puts it. He makes the 1 footer. Obviously, one of the things.
Tosti? Was that Tosti in the final group?
Yeah, Tosti was in the final group.
Tosti and Gary Woodland.
I remember Woodland's
biggest
events, or biggest showing since the surgery.
Yeah, Woodland shot 62 in the final round. He had the brain surgery, birdied 18. He hit like a ridiculous shot into 18, and comes up 1 short. Yeah. One of the things though, Minwoo, he's just off the green on 18 over the back. Does not chip it. Goes to the putter. Does not call in Chipinski.
I think he did the same on 17. He putted from off the green.
They rescind honorary degrees for that.
They're saying maybe he's an honorary doctorate, like Dr. Munjal. Do they rescind it?
Do you think what school of short game do you think Chipinski or Minwoo goes to? The Mayo or the?
Feels like more of a chef guy.
I feel like he would be a chef guy.
Feels like more of a chef guy.
God, how about that war? We were ahead on that.
I don't think it's a Cold War anymore. I think
it's hot.
It's hot.
We were picking up on the undertones a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's just blown up.
We're never wrong, just early here. Never wrong.
Tosti is in the mix, and you tweeted Tosti is an artist trying to operate in a world not ready for him.
I mean, God, he's fallen off. Too bad.
He should get an exemption into Houston because he is a horse for a course here.
Just rip away.
Michael Kim played with him. And apparently had a new caddy.
Well,
Michael
a new one
Kim-
every week, a new one every day. About
This is great. Michael Kim tweeted after a round, said that his only request of his new caddy was, when I ask if you like driver, tell me you love driver. That's Tosti's request of his new caddy.
What a great loop. That's great. That's all you got. Basic, straight to the point.
That's what you want as a caddy, is just a yes man.
Yeah. Can't get blamed if you're just following orders.
Speaking of Michael Kim, this is the last event to get into the top 50. One of the big stories, we haven't mentioned him because I don't think he didn't win anything in this time, but he played sensational golf week in, week out. It was incredible. He played his way this week into the top 50. He was 52 going into the week, ended up 50th in the OWGR, got into the Masters. On the year, he started the year. So he started January 152nd in the OWGR, played into the top 50 without a win. Sensational playing. Another footnote, as I was looking at the top 50 bubble, fascinating. Guess who was 53rd in the rankings? Did not play his way into the Masters this year.
BG, I think.
Ben Griffin, you're right, PJ.
Okay.
Those two were like the two that had a chance to play their way in.
So this is pre-BG taking over golf.
Yeah,
I think he played every start essentially just for the Masters. Like he played every week.
He played all of Florida for sure and got like super hot.
You think about it's just like one of those weird things. Ben Griffin, widely considered at this point like kind of a fringe world-class player, has never played a Masters. 2026 will be his first Masters. He will be, you know what? Catnip call of the day. Hot. Could Ben Griffin become the first rookie Masters rookie since
Fuzzy? And the year we mourn Fuzzy's first, it'd be like how apropos would it be? Fuzzy's no longer with us.
The think pieces are going to be gone.
There we go.
I mean, they might start asking BG about it this week. There could be an enterprising young journalist that hears this, and this could go places right now. People are writing it into their notes as reminders. Get BG talking first time at the Masters. That is a story as soon as the year flips. It's going to be January. It's going to be Sony Open. Actually, it'll be before Sony Open. People are not going to know what to do January 5th when we have no golf. Kind of sad.
It's going to be it is.
I'm contemplating taking the week off. Just pausing. I don't know if I want to be alive for what golf media produces that week.
Sound like the guy on White Lotus. Jesus.
Take me somewhere where I have no service and can't see the complete drivel and shit that's produced by golf media.
I mean, we talk about scarcity. That'd be dark. We got nothing till mid-February. Anyways, go ahead.
So anyways, Ben Griffin, up call of the week. That's gonna be all the buzz, like top 5 storyline going into the 26 Masters. Tony Finau, speaking of Tony Finau, we talked about him earlier. The PGA Tour is really gung-ho about not DMCAing stuff and letting people get their takes off. Finau had like the worst 3-putt of all time. It was from 3 feet. It was it was hard to watch. And it was really hard to watch. But thankfully, it's like one of those awful injuries in football.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you can't watch it. You can't find it anywhere because the tour has gone out of its way to scrub it from the internet.
It's so ridiculous. Like, come on. It's not like you're invading his privacy, personal life, or it's over. Like, what are we talking about? You're in the field of play.
You know what doesn't happen when a newscaster has just one of those awful bloopers?
Right.
That gets replayed for the rest of the person's life.
You think Boom Goes the Dynamite guy wants that DMCA'd?
The Boom Goes the Dynamite guy. That's going to follow him around the rest of his life. Tony Finau has made like $50 million playing golf, and we can't just have video footage of his awful 3-putt.
Yeah.
That's too much. You know, I got news for all these soft professional golfers that have their agents request things taken down.
That's where it's coming from.
And earmuffs, that's what the fucking money's for. Speaking of golf media, I'm fired up now.
You are.
This is the most typical golf media thing in the world. I completely forgot about this. Do you know what Rory mentions in his post round on Sunday?
Elbow is bothering him. I blended into the Texas Open week. I did research.
He says his elbow is bugging him. He has to get treatment on it. We talk about how this is going to be the most ridiculous non-story.
Elbow gate. Yeah.
Elbow gate. I saw Dan Rappaport said that he thought that Rory was doing this to throw everybody off his scent for the Masters.
Reaction to the reaction of the elbow comment. Pretty good.
This is like so quintessential golf media of like blowing up something that he just literally is telling you that his elbow's a little not a big. I think he even says it's not a big deal. I just have to get a little treatment on it. And it becomes this like cloud.
Yeah. Well, the punters, the gamblers were all like aghast. Like, oh, there we go. Take him down. Fade Rory right now. Yeah, it became a big thing. I forgot.
The thing that's crazy is he says this about the elbow. Do you know what he shot on the weekend?
Yeah, he was in it, right?
Didn't he play his way like back in? Kind of.
So with this bad elbow that everybody's worried about, he shot 65-64 on the weekend.
Yeah.
He would, I think, if I recall, win the Masters with his elbow, with his one arm. He did win.
Did he? I don't remember that.
Just one nitty-gritty golf nerd thing. And this would like be telling if you look back, you know, I did research for Thursday, Friday of the Masters. Rory drove the shit out of the ball at the Masters. Drove it well. Great.
Yep.
He made a tweak midweek here to his driver settings.
Loft, right?
Yeah, and that tweak led to this great weekend.
Okay.
And that, you know, you think about these little things that end up, you know, pushing you over the edge at golf tournaments. Why, you know, you want to talk about the live schedule, why it might put players at a disadvantage, not being able to prepare the way you want to prepare. Rory under the gun in tournament settings makes a tweak to his equipment, playing a golf course that has the same grass types as Augusta National for the week.
I think Finau. What? Go ahead. I think Finau at the start of the week said this is literally you could not conjure up a better.
We said that.
Oh, sorry.
You know, you're this is usually my role where I'm blanking out.
Dude, my brain is mush of whether I read that and researched that overlap or I heard it in the last 10 minutes. My brain's mush. Okay, sorry.
Anyways,
I cut you off.
I didn't expect to go that into
great
detail.
Observation. The rep via lit versus live. Yeah.
Kyle Porter with a Masters lead and tweet. First time Masters winners by attempt. You know, he basically lists out, there's a bunch of Masters winners that happen in the first 10. Nobody wins their first Masters really, except for Sergio outside after the 15th attempt. Okay. And Rory's making his 17th attempt at the Masters without one. So, you know, just a little, you know, what people were talking about. Some fun stuff here as we finish out the week. Not fun. Bernie Longer confirms this is last Masters. One of the big things big news hits the Champions Tour. Peach, do you remember what the big news revealed this week was?
I don't know if I do, actually.
PJ, you revealed that Maroon 5 was playing at the Dick Open this year.
Dick Open. If you want to go support the Dick Open, go buy a book.
You also pointed out all the great musical acts that the Dick Open historically gets.
Well, they've already announced 2026. It's Kelsey Ballerini, so they're way ahead of the game.
I don't know who that is.
She's a country singer.
I'm familiar
It's
with
not
the
Maroon
name.
5. It's not Maroon 5.
Okay.
They're going back to the country well. You had mentioned that there was a lot of country acts that played there.
Yeah.
What an interesting match. Dick's Open Champions Tour Golf and Maroon 5. All right.
Big week for Jack Nicklaus. BP, do you know what happened for Jack Nicklaus this week?
Did he win a lawsuit?
The lawsuit stuff? What happened?
Yeah. A judge ruled on Wednesday that Jack Nicklaus is free to use his own name, image, and likeness after a case brought by the Nicklaus Company's owner, Howard Milstein. So, for those that have been living under a rock, Jack Nicklaus sold Nicklaus Companies to Howard Milstein of 8 a.m. Golf. They had a falling out. And a lawsuit occurred over the ability of for Jack Nicklaus to use his own name.
We don't yet know who got the rights to digital to Jack, do we? We'll need to look into that. That's a separate lawsuit, I suppose.
Judge Joel Cohen granted Nicklaus summary judgment on grounds that the 85-year-old never granted exclusive licensing authority.
Wow. And this is separate from the damages he got for like them allegedly in the suit dragging his name through the mud on like Saudi connections and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, God, good year in the courtroom for Jack.
A low point. Fitzy obviously had fired Billy Foster a couple of weeks ago, and just this is, I think, just an interesting career year arc. Looking at this, then Fitzy is just in the wilderness at this point. Billy Foster on getting fired by Matt Fitzpatrick, who he looped for, obviously, in the 2022 U.S. Open. It's a results-driven business, and if things aren't going well, it's always nice to have a bit of a change. That normally starts with the coach and the caddy or the manager or the psychologist or the wife. That's the way players work, and you just have to accept it for what it is. Kind of a great quote from a legend in the game who's been around the block and seen everything.
Savvy. He'd be caddying for Morikawa by the summer in Portrush. Remember that little dalliance?
Yeah. And Westy. I mean, it's just like kind of crazy. You know, the coach, the caddy, the manager, the psychologist, the wife.
The wife.
All on the chopping block if things aren't going good for a pro golfer. That does it.
All right. Let's jump from Houston.
Before we move, do we have one more toasty tale that Brendan sent me that I was wondering if you were going to bring up?
That's right.
Bones and Toasty. Get into it.
That's right.
I forgot about it.
Toasty is tweeting at Brentley like the next day. So this is a Brentley tweet that has a quote from Bones, who is criticizing Toasty for playing at his own pace. At times it's glacially slow. At times it's normal, but he's decided on this particular hole to really take his time, and he's holding up play in this last group. He's in the final threesome with Min-Woo Lee and Gary Woodland. Earlier in the round, Toasty is having a discussion with the rules official after it took over 30 minutes for his group to play the 8th hole because Min-Woo Lee took a drop for a while.
He was
so Toasty is just in the cauldron. Bones is not happy with him on the telecast. Everybody is tweeting about this. Toasty gets on Twitter and tweets at Brentley the next day that basically immediately gets deleted, if I recall correctly. It was only up for a couple hours. Yeah. But this is peak Toasty of the year here.
Yeah. I mean, he's 250 yards behind whoever, Woodland or Min-Woo and that girl. I remember he was just kind of inching his way along like a snail. They thought it was deliberate. Then he got really mad about Bones's framing of it.
Yes.
God, I forgot about that. That was a big thing. All right.
I think that's probably the last Toasty mention we'll get. So
that might be. That might be. God, he's in the final group. All right, let's bounce from Houston over to San Antonio. Monday morning cleanup. Justin Bieber FaceTimes Min-Woo Lee. Justin Bieber, one of the most famous people on planet Earth, somehow is buddies with Dr. Chipinski, a.k.a. Woozy, a.k.a. the chef, a.k.a. Min-Woo Lee, the man with many nicknames. We also have Rory flight tracking again. He apparently stops at Augusta on his way back from Houston. So people are all worked up about that. What's the elbow? Can he play? Is he just walking the grounds with the elbow issue? Is he, what's going on? He's scouting Augusta again on the way home from Houston. Tiger Woods tweets an April Fool's joke. I don't know why he's getting cheeky. This is, just after the Love is in the Air announcement. He said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but a few weeks after rupturing my left Achilles, the sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber plus the explosive lifts, my doctors and trainers have me ready to play the Masters next week. Can't wait. See y'all on the course. Everybody's like, oh, this is definitely fake. Is it a fool's joke? It was not a particularly deceptive one. I think people picked up on it quickly. And he had to do a PS, April Fool's, my Achilles is still a mess. So, just Tiger hamming it up. Me and a kid out there. This was MLB opening day or opening week. The torpedo bat discourse and how it applied to golf equipment regulation was really hot. Torpedo bat discourse. People freaking out about the Yankees and their torpedo bats and whether it need to be regulated and the scrutiny applied to it versus lack thereof to golf equipment. This was a hot subject. Kind of faded, though. I wouldn't say that persisted into the summer in Major League Baseball. There's a report, I believe, from Doug Ferguson that a Dallas TGL team may be valued at $77 million, and this could be a future TGL. $77 million for a TBD Dallas TGL team. I found this in research. I don't recall it. Bryson did a break 50 with Matthew Stafford, maybe your MVP of the NFL. And he had this clip of Stafford throwing a ball to him on a cross. And Stafford, I'd say, put some pep on it, put some juice on it, but wasn't like full 100%. And it just bounces off Bryson like an absolute
make it in the NFL.
Bouncy ball. It's a pretty good clip. You don't even need the visuals. The sound of X, boom, it bounces off.
That's amazing.
Forgot about this. It's probably, I would say, 70% power.
He does rip it, but it's definitely not all the way.
PJ's a man that's seen it up close and personal.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Matthew's work.
That's not Caleb's speed, though.
I mean, I think you need to relax.
Not many people have the Caleb arm talent.
Got a pretty good arm.
If one person on the planet does, I'm very confident it's Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
I got a question.
Yep.
Who do you think on tour would have had the best chance of catching that?
Ooh. Do you have someone in mind? Who was Shane Lowry compared to in TGL? A running back?
Brendan, wasn't he wearing an Ayuk jersey?
He's wearing a Juwan jersey, Juwan Jennings.
But he's wearing a Juwan Jennings jersey?
Yeah, it was 15, which is that I remember tweeting like, damn, that's a real ball knower, Juwan jersey.
Of course you remember this.
I love Juwan.
Who do you have in mind? I mean, that's not an easy catch from a
honestly.
Yeah.
And I think this probably goes a bit under talked about. I think Scottie Scheffler. I think he might be the best athlete on tour.
Basketball player, pitcher. Woodland maybe a chance. Gary Woodland,
Woodland, Finau.
The interesting thing is the Euros, honestly look like with a lot of ball sports. Well, I know not soccer. It's like foreign to them, right? So even if they're exceptional athletes, Woodland's not a bad choice. Finau's decent choice. All right. Elsewhere, we have the Live Miami this week, but we start it with the Cleeks Golf Club in an article, and I believe it was Bloomberg.
Content machine.
Bloomberg that says Minecraft CEO seeks to make Liv's Cleeks into a Yankees-like brand. We had just a field day with this article. The Cleeks are a Yankees-like brand. Now, far be it from me to quibble with the Minecraft CEO who's done and knows much more than I will ever. But there's an article, it was in all the business pubs. Here's a snippet. The Cleeks Golf Club is his first time working on a sports team. This is the Minecraft CEO. He has a specific inspiration in the field for what he envisions with the Cleeks. In Europe, there are a lot of people running around with New York Yankees caps. They don't really know it's a baseball team, but they like the brand and the lifestyle vibe, and they have built into that brand. While Cleeks is arguably top of the leaderboard in branding in the Live circuit, is it the top brand, the Cleeks in the Live? The results on the course probably aren't of the level that Martinson wants to see long term. Really? You think? The Yankees aren't a ubiquitous fashion item on the strength of a cool logo alone. No shit. Winning matters. Cleeks Golf Club's best finish in 4 tournaments this year is 6th after finishing 8th overall in the 13 tournament 24 season. Still, early results are transitory. The only thing that is going to be forever is the brand. We did it with Minecraft, and I'm hoping to do it with the Cleeks now. So the Cleeks are, compared to the Yankees, ubiquitous branding.
Who do you think Jack Black plays in the Cleeks movie in like 15 years? Blandy?
Freddie Ketchup. Freddie Ketchup. One and done Freddie Ketchup. The Cleeks then have a big art exhibit, an art show, just bonkers stuff. This is Adrian Marunk, Dick Bland. You got to zoom in on Dick Bland's face.
Art show.
Yeah, with all these fancy schmancy Miami folks. And you've got the Cleeks. And Dick Bland's there like, how did I get here? What am I doing? This art installation in Miami and the Cleeks. Just bizarre stuff.
Can we at least give the Cleeks credit?
For trying different stuff?
They're trying to become the luxury brand of Live.
They really are. I mean, that's what, the $5,000 weekend bag, the art show in Miami, the Minecraft CEO, they are. Now they just need some players. Look at Dick Bland. Look at that face. It's like, I'm at this art show. What am I doing? All right. PJ this week debuts his gambling picks for the Masters. The official Masters website leans on PJ to be a fantasy expert. We said we've been a gambling pot all along, and the foremost tournament in the professional golf has recognized it. Finally,
I will say,
I was reminiscent of PJ picking the Packers. Here.
I will say the only media member to correctly pick the winner of the Masters on this website. I'll just throw that out there.
Picked Rory. Go out on a limb.
I was.
Go out on a limb. Pick
Went
Rory.
way out on a limb as top European Rory McIlroy.
There's a Just a Guy hat makes its way onto television via Gary Williams wearing a Just. This was a fun little.
Oh God!
It's like, oh God. This was a good one, Andy. I know you love this moment in time. Live Golf's. This is Josh Carpenter. Range Goats Golf Club has a new partnership with Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers through the end of 2025 season. Bubba Watson will wear the Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers logo at the Masters next week. So, Range Goats and Freddy's Frozen Custard. What a moment.
This is a competitor for Bubba. Does he have an ice cream shop?
Do we know? I mean, he had a candy shop, but who knows what's still open down there in Pensacola or wherever it is, Panhandle.
The best is I was sitting having a very serious discussion at the Masters, and that discussion got onto Freddy's, and everybody was talking about where they thought Freddy's ranked in fast food in the middle of the discussion.
I don't know that I've ever seen one. Where is it? Like,
I think it's in the
Florida?
South.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. Anwa
boys, happy boys.
Look at that, Peter Uline. What am I doing here with this frozen custard cup? Megagane shoots 63 at Anwa. And we start, could she be the first drive, chip, and putt competitor to win Anwa? You make a good point about how, like, doing anything at Champions Retreat is like it's like playing a different sport. Then you have to go to Augusta. Like, you had a long thread about how different it is. It's kind of ridiculous. Like this penal, see ball, hit ball, set up, and then you go to the big course, Augusta. It's just like a different sport. Scott O'Neill claims 2.5 million watched Live Riyadh. We, of course, had numbers in the 12,000 range, 34,000 range. She says 2.5 million.
Oh,
Even Nuclear Golf was like, do you believe his claim? Nick Faldo, for reasons unclear, just goes nuts on Live. They should just go and do their own thing. It's caused a ruckus. Players have done well. The double Bloomin' prize money. They're making a fortune. Good luck to them. Go do your own thing. It's not a good sport. It's bloody tough. I think when you're on fail-free tour, you can't fail. It makes you go soft. I think some of those players have gone soft. So Faldo with some high heat going into the Masters. Westy calls out the DP World Tour, turns the guns on the DP World Tour. The tour have not treated everyone the same way. They have not treated Rahm and Hatton the same way they treated me, Pultz, and Stenson and the like. They've manipulated the situation. They haven't paid their fines either, but their appeal dates have been pushed back until after the Ryder Cup. They've basically kicked the can down the road for those two players, Rahm and Hatton, and they keep fining them, but they will be eligible for the team. You know what? He's right. He's right, and they won the Ryder Cup, and the olds weren't given the same treatment, despite what they might have contributed to the Tour and or Ryder Cup. Thirst bucket moment of the year, maybe. Ryan McCormick on the Deep KFT Tour tapes his mouth shut because he's prone to being angry. I knew you'd get this is a total random find. He's playing the round. It's on camera. He's got tape over his mouth because apparently he's a hothead. He flagellates, self-admonishes himself, and he tapes his mouth. He's available for the cameras and talk. It's just kind of a ridiculous moment. CBS announces Frank Nobilo will be replacing Vern Lundquist at the Tower at 16. This is, of course, first year without Vern at the Masters, and Nobilo gets the call to do 16. Everybody's very excited and happy about that. Brooksy, there's been a lot of drama around Brooksy and is he coming back? And Fred Couples' radio interview, he said, "I still have a good relationship with everybody there, being the tour. There's a lot of what ifs, but I'd be open to playing certain PGA Tour events. Like I love Phoenix, the Cognizant Classic because it's my hometown. I'd love to play Dunhill, but if we can't, that's okay. I've made my decision. I think each year at Live has gotten better, and that should be the goal, right?" So he's like open, wants to maybe come back. He's got a good relationship with everyone there. This is Texas Open. I don't know if you remember this. We had a big finding on the alternate list at the Texas Open, where the alternates could not get off the list unless the field went from 156 to 144. So the field ended up at like 149. And Zach Blair was number one. We had Hayden Springer was like 131st in the world and 78th in the FedEx Cup, but could not get in a 156-man field because some weird provision. So guys kept WD in, but they needed 12 to WD for any of the alternates to get in. Bizarre bylaw there. And we were like freaking out about that. And the same happened for Valspar, where they're trying to get more rookie starts, but then, you can't get off an alternate list unless it becomes a 144-man field. Jim Nantz, his first couple of years without doing the Final Four to the Masters, says, "I was prepared for this to be a new approach to Augusta this year, and the plan was to be there on Sunday before. Then all of a sudden, my University of Houston basketball team went on a roll and found its way to San Antonio, and I have to be there. That has brought an abrupt change to the current itinerary. Houston, of course, would go all the way to the finals, lose to Florida. Nance is in the crowd. Like there's these emotional memes and gifs of Nance, like almost the Vince McMahon crying gif of him, just really emotional in the stands. The Masters announces a new concession item, tomato pie, which I never tried that. PJ, did you try it when you were on ground? That was good. Catnip Carnival.
You tried it, right?
Yeah, not good. I'm also not a tomato guy, but it was like a calzone without the cheese. Yeah. It was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You tried everything, right?
I did.
Everything on the menu.
Just give me one of everything.
I think next year. I think for a preview item, we need a power rank. PJ's power rankings of every Masters.
I can do that.
You did write a little bit about it in the newsletter. Yeah. When I found that, like peach. I think the peach ice cream was up there for you, and yeah. So
where was the brownie?
The brownie was good. The brownie was high.
Did you really get everything?
I think I did.
It's ridiculous.
Who knows? I might even have a beer this year. I didn't do the beer.
Wow. That would be
maybe,
a big one.
Maybe I'll have the beer this year.
Big step.
Would you go Crow's Nest or?
I don't know.
Like if
you tell.
Crow's Nest. You're a Crow's Nest guy.
You
gotta get the Blue Moon.
It's a Blue Moon.
I like the fruit.
Yeah, it comes with the orange.
It's a fruit podcast.
We have a week to go for the Masters, and Max Homa announces he and Joe Greiner are splitting up, parting ways. This at the moment was earth-shattering news. Max, says it wasn't necessarily my call. It wasn't my decision. Joe was like, when this starts to like affect our friendship or could possibly like we're parting ways. So this was a big shock. The PGA Tour rejects a letter. This is a big report, I think, in the Guardian. Ewan Murray rejected a $1.5 billion reunification offer from Saudi's PIF. Of course, the offer was like, here's $1.5 billion. We get to stay. Live still exists. We're doing team golf. Yasser is chairman or whatever title. And they're like, no, No, thank you. This was obviously after the fallout of the White House meeting. We get the Masters lineup, and Fred Ridley is announced as first in the order of the press conferences, which prompts a bunch of speculation of, why would he start Monday morning or Monday afternoon? What is this all about? Are they something rollback? So everybody's freaking out about that for a week. We have a great clip. We catch Andrew Novak, caddy conversation with Andrew Novak, who is playing well at Valero, and discussing an aiming strategy in the fairway. This is pretty good.
I think if I cut it against, it feels that's me. I like that a lot. There's like kind of fat guy out there.
That was pretty good. Just aiming at the fat guy out there from Andrew Novak. That was a fun moment from the Texas. This week there were concerns about at Tour. We got this tip from the Global Home that there were real concerns about Liv, Miami, Doral potentially outrating or at least approximating PGA Tour in Texas because it was on Fox. It was at Liv Doral.
This was
Valero
the first one on Big Fox, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Valero was kind of a ho-hum field. Stinky Harman was running away with it up 4 at the 36 hole mark, 3 at the 54 hole mark. So Tour was kind of freaking out that Liv Doral on Fox could approach like Texas Open ratings. They got blown out. Again, it didn't matter. Doral did have a great leaderboard. It was awesome. It was like Phil, Rahm, Sergio was in the mix. I think Bryson was in the mix. Who wins it? Big Leash. Mark Leishman. There's a great photo of Yasser, who just loves station-to-station baseball, loves batsmen, just embracing Mark Leishman over the railing there. That was a fun one. PJ on the Champions Tour had a comprehensive preview of the James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational. I think that was just like these random pro football players who have been retired a while.
That completely.
You had a comprehensive preview of that. Anybody come to mind who was in that?
Oh, yeah.
Like Don
it was
Taylor, people like that.
It was like a bunch of I remember like Jan Stenerud, I think, had to withdraw, and that became and Cody Parkey got in, which we all loved because Cody Parkey, of course. There was a lot going on.
Our teams.
Yeah. Yep.
He conspired against both of our teams' recent chances of having some marginal amount of success in the National Football League.
Justin Rose had a world-class shank that everybody jumped on at the Valero. This was just right off the hosel. A week before he's in the playoff at the Masters. People went nuts about that. It almost like hits the camera into the whatever those mangroves or whatever those trees are they have in Texas, the Kevin Nam Memorial.
PJ's going to be upset. We're not going to be able to monetize this on YouTube because you just played that. Know,
too bad. And that and the fat guy from Andrew Novak clip.
Our $3 we'd make from that.
Sergio plays well at Doral. He becomes like a trendy pick. He's doing well this first quarter and Live. He's trendy pick. He did not do well at the Masters. At Anwa, Carla Bernat Escudar wins, shoots 68 at Anwa, beats Astros Tally, 16-year-old at the time, who comes on big. She had already played Anwa, but this was a real second major coming out. Goes nuts at Augusta. But Escudar, the Spaniard, wins. Jose Maria Olazabal is there to kind of give her this big hug and greet her as she walks off a winner. JMO, sort of the statesman of Masters Week. We get to Augusta the Sunday before. Gary Player is talking to us about like all my friends are dead, giving us a big sermon, smacking himself in the belly. So we're getting ready for Masters Week with a chance encounter with Gary Player off the 18th green.
The bees too.
We had thick bees. There's reports of thick bees at Augusta. So these are just the early Masters nuggets we're getting. On the Champions Tour, none other than Angel Cabrera, fresh out of prison, wins the James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational, and he's due back at the Masters in a week. And he wins.
Trending. Literally. Sergio is trending. Tonto is trending.
Liv has the duels publication issues. Remember this? Grant Horvat. It's like, coming tonight, kid. Coming tonight, fam, or whatever. And then it's like, wait, nope, we're not on. We got to push it another day. People are freaking out about that. Does great numbers though. But initial production and publication issues that has people clamoring for duels content The tour, as Andy alluded to, threatens suspension, and like people are freaking out. The Live boys, are you gonna? I just throw my hands up. I'm almost done with the player suspension talk. I can't deal with Fat Perez potentially being banned from the Creator Classic. It's just like Live the Creator suspension stuff. There's no time for that. Canada claims Rory is Canadian in a Canadian Open tweet where it's all Canadians. It's Nick Taylor, Mackenzie Hughes, and then Rory as well in front of the Canada flag. I don't know if the Northern Irish were bothered by this, but
This is incredible.
It's 5 Canadians and Rory. It's kind of ridiculous. So this is our Open too. It's not like these are some guys playing in it. It's our Open. So that was funny. And then Josh Carpenter publishes an inside look at Berkman's place, which gets a lot of people, you don't see too many inside looks at that. That was catnip as well. And that does your Texas Open. But Brian Harman wins. Oh, Harman won with a 75 on Sunday, I believe. And like the scoring average was like 74. It's kind of incredible. It was not very good golf tournament in terms of drama. He led by a lot at the midpoint and just hung on. But he shot 75, and the field average was 74.8. He's moving on to the Masters. So that's your Valero Texas Open week. Should we move on to the first men's major of the year, the Masters? I think I have.
We've got AJ Hawk has re-entered the studio.
AJ Hawk is joining
Welcome
us.
back, AJ.
AJ Hawk, fresh off an interview with, I won't spoil it, but just a legend of the game that will hopefully be coming.
I don't think your mic's on, AJ.
Fried Egg platforms here momentarily.
Thank you. Is that any better?
That is better. That is better. We can hear.
Shuffle it in.
We don't need to hear AJ.
How
Hawk.
would you know if AJ Hawk's mic was on or not?
This seems like a step down based on who you were just talking to, an absolute idol of SGS. But
hey, can I do a unplanned ad read here before we get into the Masters?
Please.
It seems like a highly anticipated moment of year review every year is the Masters.
Yep.
We are procrastinators. That's why KVV on a recent call suggested that we write notes throughout the year so that we don't have to do all of this research at the end of the year for year in review. And I said,
how dare you?
Well, you're the first person that's told us that. 8 years in, you're the first person that's told us that. But
felt a little pointed last night. I was lying in bed. I was like, was Andy mad at me? Or was he just like, no, is that just Andy?
I think you're getting used to some of the SGS ways of the world. From what I understand, you're texting PJ about, well, what's the schedule? I was like, dude, for 7 years, it's like, all right, you want to go in 5 minutes? Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. And like we go. Kevin's just like a moving target. It's like,
there are no plans.
Yeah, not good.
But anyways, just like this ad read, unplanned.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a last-minute gift, join the hottest club around. It's not Club TFE anymore. It's Fried Egg Golf Club. There's a great community there. There's all kinds of content that comes your way there. You get discounts in the pro shop. You get early access to events. And it's an exorbitant amount of money. It's $120 a year.
Oh,
so
please be facetious. All right. Yeah.
Being facetious, I think the first time I did an ad read, I said $120 a month. Funny moment in Fried Egg history.
Didn't get a lot of signups that
People
month.
were like, wait, oddly though, in places like the Burnerverse, if we charged $120 a month, it might be more popular.
Maybe.
Wait, are you saying that most people can't join this? I want to join it. The way of the golf world.
We bust our ass on the premium content with the course profiles, chocolate drops, design notebook. You get extra 10% off standing in the shop. You get early access to events. You get member-only events, exclusive events at some pretty premium places. We really bust our ass to try to make sure this $120 goes a long way. Maybe even against Pete's Best Insights. Like, God, you guys are giving away a lot for. Maybe we should jack up the price. No, it's a very good membership that we work very hard to deliver value from, and we're about to hit. I got the fire marshal to up the permitted bodies in the hottest club in town. we're about to hit a nice important threshold, I think, for the club. But Fire Marshal has expanded capacity at the hottest club in town.
One of the things, great way to do it. We have, if you haven't bought our book, which no bullshit, taking Brendan's line.
You have it in hand now.
Legitimately almost out of.
Yeah.
There are not many left. So there's only so many of these memberships you can get. Get the bundle, you get the book, and you get the membership at a little discount if you do the bundle. There aren't many of the first edition of the Fried Egg books left, and that's a nice way to do it. You get the membership and you get the book. You know, who knows what, you know, how many first editions will be rolling around in 70 years when Michael Wolff will take, you know, some sort of interest in the book is when nobody can get it. Love you, Michael, by the way.
All right. Check out Friday Golf Club. Google it and sign up. Just like Kurt Signetti. Google it and sign up.
Yeah,
Friday
Google me.
It supports our work, honestly. It gets us out there. It gets us to places like the Masters. Supports our work. Also,
hopefully adding a lot of new cool bells and whistles. I think one thing I would reiterate about the way we're approaching what we're doing. We have a staff member who's great, who literally is thinking about how do we improve and iterate and evolve the digital experience every day. So what you see now, it will be a lot better by the end of next year. What you see today is so leaps and bounds better than it was last year. So we're gonna our pledge to kind of members, anybody really, listeners, readers, even if you're not a member, is that we are going to tirelessly try to improve your digital experience with us. And the membership's a big way that we go about, you know, continuing to improve that, continuing to deliver better stuff, in our opinion, you know. Yep. But anyways, thanks to everybody who is a member. Thanks to everybody who's purchased a book. Thanks to everybody who listens. That's, you know, we aren't asking, you know, it's a nice thing if you're looking for a last minute gift and looking to kind of get more from us.
Got it. Yep. Reinvest it back in the company. Reinvest it.
If you ever feel like you're not getting your value, I'll call you personally and do the worst Lucas Glover impression. You know, listen to her.
KVV, I'm glad you're here. I got some good Lucas Glover quotes that I wanted you to do the impression for, that I'm gonna put up on the screen when we get to my section of the Masters here.
That sounds lovely.
Is this going to be the longest episode in the history?
No, I doubt it.
I think we're going to hit ones. We're crossing the Rubicon of 3 hours on this episode. No way we don't.
Okay. Let's start the week with a bit of SGS minutia. Andy absolutely jams PJ to start. You know, there's so much stress and anxiety. We're at the Dratty house in Augusta, and Andy, like, we're PJ's constant anxiety about the Wi-Fi for the show. And we got this text from Business Pete. Andy jammed PJ this morning. He texted me in a panic that there was no Wi-Fi at the house. After 10 minutes on the phone and research, it turns out Andy just unplugged the router in the master bedroom to put his phone charger in. We're back online now. This led to a couple hours of PJ just scrambling around the Dratty house.
I cannot reiterate enough my panic waking up and being like, oh my God, it's out. We can't do anything. And then 2, finding the router like buried upstairs under a bed and trying to figure out how the hell Andy could have possibly even unplugged it.
Well, you know, from everything you hear, that router shouldn't be underneath.
No, I'm not disputing that. Disputing that.
I was just looking out for my long-term health and limiting my cancer risk.
Yeah.
And then you told me I needed to keep it plugged in. Think about what I went through that week, waking up with one eye open all week.
Mm-hmm.
PJ starts the week with a mild heart attack for a couple hours.
Fields all around Andy's brain.
Yeah. Monday was supposed to be a total washout, just cancel the whole day, rain. But then, like, by 8 a.m., they're like, get to the course, we're open, let's go, come play. And everybody came, and they opened it by 8 a.m. That didn't stop the Daily Mail from suggesting there was a rain delay at some point, that Augusta National was all caps evacuated just 3 days before that. Of course, it was just the weather siren, but the British Tabs, Daily Mail evacuated. It says Augusta evacuated. We get an update. That Ridley press conference, we were all, what could this be about? Are they rollback? Are they, breaking off from professional? What's happening? It's the patch. So we have a patch update. Bo Welling and Tom Fazio are doing the patch, and Tiger Woods is going to do the loop, a 9-hole short course, at the patch. So we got that. That was the big Monday announcement. We sat behind Mr. Fazio and Bo and others in this big press conference, and Tiger zoomed in or had a quick, pre-recorded message for the assembled press from his seat with his torn Achilles back home. I remember this week, there was, of course, Augusta is just this meeting of business titans and well-to-do and people who are running various business. Ton of anxiety about tariffs and the stock market like tanking at the time. And is TaylorMade going to be able to make drivers because we can't get equipment from or anything? All these, it was just sort of this early in the week sense of unease all across, not all, but it pervaded the property there.
Never thought the leopards would eat my face.
Mercedes-Benz, that great automobile company, automaker, gifts Bernhard Langer a special personalized S-Class car with the Masters green paint job, logos, and Langer's signature. Just a great gesture from a great company to a great champion, if I do say so myself.
Listen, there's those driver assist systems in there that probably helped to get to and from the golf course safely. Great automobiles.
But more importantly, or as importantly, I should say, this was Bernie's last Masters. He confirms it. He talks about how he wore red before Tiger wore red, and he did the monochromatic red when won his first Masters. So a lot of Bernie content at the start of the week. We do get live viewership numbers from Doral versus Valero, and the tour was all anxious about could the Big Fox take Doral over the top of Valero, a ho-hum Valero? No, it was 1.75 million for Harman's win in Valero. 484,000 for Mark Leishman's Live Miami. So that did not prove to be much of a matchup. We have a Rory talks to the press as you would imagine before the Masters. He says elbow is good to go. That elbow gate, the elbow anxiety from Houston, if you can believe it or not, elbow's good. Got a little bit of treatment on it last week. It's all good. So fears assuaged immediately. He also talked about Colin Morikawa, which not talking this persisted into this week. He spoke about it again. I'll get to here in a minute. Well, he's right. Not that I think he could have worded it a little better. This is Rory about Colin. Look, every other athlete, whether it be NBA, NFL, they're obligated to speak to you guys after a game. We're not. Or that's something the tour looks to put into the rules. But as long as that's not the case, we have the option to opt out whenever we want. Expect guys to do that from time to time. Rory, of course, would exercise that right this season.
First round.
Well, through right the PGA and then portions of the U.S. Open, he would go down that path. Also, Rory, on getting his heart broken, they talked about this after the Players Championship about you got to be willing to get your heart broken after he just won it. I think he was talking in the chairs to Brandel there and live from, and asked about it before the Masters. It's a self-preservation mechanism. You don't want. It's just more of a thing where you're trying not to put 100% of yourself out there because of that. It happens in all walks of life. At a certain point in someone's life, someone doesn't want to fall in love because they don't want to get their heart broken. People, I think, instinctually as human beings, we hold back sometimes because of the fear of getting hurt. Well, that's a conscious decision or a subconscious decision. And I think I was doing that on the golf course a little bit for a few years. But I think once you go through those heartbreaks, as I call them, or disappointments, you get to a place where you remember how it feels. And you wake up the next day and you're like, yeah, life goes on. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And so this talks about just another perspective as he goes into the Masters. Now, had he not come back on Sunday, I don't know. I don't know if he gets up Monday and so life goes on. It's just
heartbreak is part of life. Everyone needs to go through it. No.
I think when I've become a little more comfortable in laying out everything out there and being somewhat vulnerable at times, but more Rory perspective as he goes into, at this part, like kind of a a torture chamber of him, right? For him, right? His 17th year at Augusta National. We learned about trees. I mean, we knew there'd be fewer trees from the hurricane in the offseason. And we're trying to figure out how will it impact it. Rom speaks and says someone, he won't say who, told him you can now hit a high cut over the cabins left of 10. They lost so many trees left of 10, which of course is usually a big sweeping draw or hook down the hill. He says you could hit a high cut up and over the trees now. There's so fewer up and over the cabins now. They've lost so many trees left of 10. That does not prove to be a strategy, but it's an early chatter. Of course, we learn about trees lost behind 12. And there's some like anxiety or uncertainty of like, how will that impact the winds? Does it come over the trees, through the trees? Is it different? The trees behind 15 we lost. Andy, you remember some real golf nerd stuff about this, about how it frames 15 and the depth perception. They lost the trees behind there and it's more open into 16 behind it. So that was like a lot of like golf nerd getting in the weeds on the tree loss and how that might impact
I think
play.
15's better because those trees are down.
More visually,
more visually intimidating. There's no scale, the scale representation and depth perception created by the trees. It's just like that green looks so much more ominous staring at it.
The water,
Foz might put him back when he gets tapped to do the redesign. So
the worst part of all of it is, I mean, the trees you lose on 12, and you have to see Augusta Country Club now.
It's non-overseeded.
The horror of the whole situation. That was a big talking point before the week. I mean,
all the way down. Yeah,
you see Augusta Country Club now.
You can see it all the way from the top of 10. Yeah. Bryson had an amusing social strategy to start the week. It's just very posed pictures of himself all around town. He's just in a rocking chair on his porch. Said, enjoying this Tuesday morning in Augusta. Then there's one on the circle. It just looks like he's going to school for the first time, first day of school. It's just like his hands in his pockets. I found that amusing. Bryson's social strat. There's grave concern about too many big letter adjacent hats, like skip it hats were just all over the property. PJ was at his first visit was like very confused about how there were hats that just said pimento in semi big letters, not all the way big letters, but skip it hats were very popular.
Well, in my part of the research, when people got eyes on the egg salad hat, that's when
it broke
contain.
Do you have a picture of that? Because I have a picture of that in my research if need be. Those are not official hats, though, the egg salad ones. The pimentos are, but you can't get an egg salad hat inside the actual Masters merch tent. That's it's bogus discount knockoff.
The folding table outside the gates or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Viktor Hovland speaks to the press. He talks about UFOs. There's like a fun digression on UFOs. Like, I don't know. Do you know anything? Are they really out there? He talks about that. But more importantly, he would sort of preview our year in 8 Mile discourse in golf. He cites 8 Mile and B Rabbit as a source of inspiration when B Rabbit goes on to stage how he talks about how he sucks. And there's like this self-flagellation, self-admonishment. And he compared his inner demons on the golf course to Eminem's final rap battle in 8 Mile, where he disses himself to take the pressure off before going into battle. So between this and Don Rea doing Lose Yourself by the end of what a year for 8 Mile in golf. Colin Morikawa just keeps talking about the press situation and not talking to the press. And now, gotta say, it was sort of incoherent this week. I don't know if it's coherent before, but he basically challenges the press to come and talk to him after every single round, everywhere, all the time. You loved this hit. You were talking with the phone when this came out.
Can I just point out?
Yeah.
There was one enterprising journalist who attempted to do this.
You did. You took it personally, right?
And that journalist got in trouble for trying to ask Colin Morikawa questions in different scenarios.
Yeah, you weren't. Yeah. We still got to work. Yeah. You don't get your name called on enough there. We're working on it.
No, I'm saying Adam Schupak.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
For trying to ask Morikawa questions during a pro-am.
I was just about to say, Brendan, I'm so proud to have Andy referring to himself as a journalist, but that was just a pivot there. He refuses to embrace that moniker.
So he laid down the gauntlet, and then a journalist attempted to do it, and they got popped by the PGA Tour.
Oh, so maybe the Follow Me Everywhere was a little bit later. That might have been later in the year, but this one was like, you guys don't ask me after every round. Like, why? I've been a top 5. I was going to play the whole clip, but I just, for the sake of
brevity.
Yeah, brevity, we need to keep going. So there needs to be a balance in ebb and flow. You can't just ask me when I'm playing well. Well, like the whole subject at hand was when he had just lost, and like it wasn't about a win, and he blew them off. And I don't really, it's like, I've been a top 5 player in the world, and people just don't ask me questions. Come ask me now. And you can't just ask me when I'm playing well. He was kind of contradiction throughout about, you got to ask me when I'm playing well. You didn't ask me when I was top 5 player in the world. Well, that it just contradicts himself. Max Homa said, Joe Greiner essentially told me to get or that's why we split up. Andy has a tussle with the PGA Tour radio personality because he quoted Sepp Straka on Augusta National versus your regular PGA Tour stop. This is Sepp.
What's his name?
We don't have to go into it. Yeah, McGinnis. Anytime you can play here competitively, it helps, especially with strategy on this course. So many intricacies here because the greens are so sloped that just angles matter a lot more than at regular PGA Tour events, I would say. Andy adds, it's humorous that PGA Tour limits how much slope architects are able to put in greens, thus limiting how interesting golf can be. Good news, I'm sure the new AI course setup tool will fix this. So you're still having
just
a ball
body bagging the AI course.
We kind of gave up on the AI course setup tool.
We can bring that back. This is a good memory. That's in the tool chest, Yeah,
that was good. I mean, Straka, great stuff about how like angles matter because of slope on the greens.
What was humorous about that back and forth is that, McGinnis was telling me that I was making that up. When I literally had podcasts recorded by an architect, Tom Doak, talking about how the PGA Tour wouldn't let him put excess slope in greens beyond a certain amount. But it must have been that fake news that people are talking about,
I just remember trying to, prep for our Masters preview show. You're just going, you're going to the mattresses with the bring out the big guns. John McGinnis
come at me, whenever I criticize the PGA Tour. But you know what? I don't get paychecks from the PGA Tour like he does. So, I get it.
The Højgaard twins, I don't know if there have ever been identical twins. They go to matching outfits. And that's the Friday Night Golf tweets when Mom makes you get different haircuts. Because I actually don't know. I guess Rasmus had a bit of a little of a mop, a flop, and one of them shaved a little tighter. So that was funny. It's insane when you think about it. Identical twins, both top 50 players in the world playing the Masters.
This is like the evolution of every 90s boy band. They start out like, on the right, and then they transition towards the left. So they're trying to get harder, just get a little tighter cut. This is like Timberlake in miniature.
Right. Bryson plays like almost till dusk on Tuesday night by himself. He was doing skip it with basically no fans around anymore because he was out there so late, but still just skipping balls like a madman. Arizona State golf coach Matt Thurman gets kicked off the practice range, the tournament practice area on Monday for a violation of the tournament dress code. He was wearing shorts. So he saw, I think it was Kevin Yu, it just ran out there to say hi to him, and he has shorts on. This was big, it was kind of not much to do about nothing, but became a story that people pounced on. Let's go to our newsletter. God, in addition to joining the club, subscribe to the newsletter. There, it's free. My own writing notwithstanding, we kicked ass in the newsletter. It's just very high quality stuff. Going back, and I'm very proud of it. Going back and reading the newsletters throughout the year. You talk about this was I think a Lamagna insight. The Scheffler and Schauffele shaped holes in 2025. Remember, Scheffler is still kind of scratching it together. Schauffele is nowhere to be found. Largely filled by Rory McIlroy with 2 wins and no finish worse than T17 on the year. Data Golf says McIlroy is one of the strongest statistical profiles of his entire career. You also have these like live boys playing well, and Phil played decent in Doral, got like top 5. Sergio and Patrick Reed were like, could one of those guys come off the shelf? Remember, P. Reed did an interview with Joseph Lamagna that was awesome going into the Masters about the grain and chipping at Augusta National, people using dinner plates for drivers. Really good to get Pete Reed on the record with Lamagna. I am going to call myself out here on this one. This is what I wrote about Rory in our preview newsletter. I'm just going to read it quickly. Golf is hard enough. Then there's golf at Augusta National and the Masters. Then there's golf at Augusta National and the Masters, having never won it before, despite all indications you should. Then there's golf at Augusta National and the Masters, a tournament suited to your best-in-a-generation talent, needing a win to complete the career slam. This is all supposed to be a blast, a thrill show. It's supposed to be fun for the players and us. But you can see how it can get tedious talking about, quote, this is the year to feel good about Rory McIlroy. Like, I was done with, like, this is the year. He's won twice. Like, I've done that my entire career. It felt like this could be Rory's year. It is, too. He's the favorite. He should be. He's been the best golfer in the world this year with wins already at Pebble and the Players. He's been the most consistent performer in majors of the last few years. His golf brain and natural talents have never been more aligned. I could throw the stats at you. It's hard not to start giggling each time a pundit, including this idiot, tiptoes into a soliloquy about why they're bullish to win the Masters. Of course they are. The vibes, the stats, the narrative. He is a heavy favorite with Scottie. Remember, he and Scottie had just totally separated themselves, which is kind of rare. It's the primary story going into this 2025 edition. And yet it provokes giggles and eye rolls because we've done this so many damn times. That's not a critique of Rory nor the prognosticators or the narrative setters, but how many other players in the field do we know about what show they're watching, Bridgerton, or about what book they're reading, John Grisham's The Reckoning? These are the minute details of the Rory at Augusta appraisal as we start his 17th Masters. No one is under this examination from the press, fans, and maybe even himself at this point, including the guy under this much scrutiny, including the guy making his return fresh out of prison on El Cabrera. This is not scrutiny with the negative lens. It's just the prominence of Rory's accomplishments in this tournament. Only one player has ever completed the slam at the Masters, and that was Gene Sarazen back when we didn't even know if the Masters would be a major. History is littered with generational talents who could not get over the line here. Golf is already hard, and then you add in this mental weight to the physical demands of Augusta, the slope, the different, uneven lies. It's such a precise test of skill before you even get into the brain. It's an incredibly brilliant, strained test. This is why we love the Masters and what has to make it extra daunting, but fantasizing, thinking about a Rory win. But how could he not be the pick this week? Anyways, just like
great.
Whatever happened the next
on that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I picked him and he won, but I thought, like, I was so done with writing about Rory and the Masters. And, obviously that it was the year to write about Rory and the Masters. He proved it right 4 years later.
BP is done with Rory at the Masters at this point. But you know what he's never done with?
Phil.
Never will be done. Never will be done with Phil.
Never.
I can't wait this year to nudge him and be like, what do you think about Phil? He's birdied 2. He's in top 10 in leaderboard.
The best is he sits there and he thinks about it. He kind of rocks in his chair a little. And then he starts to shuffle around with his notebook and he puts it in his back pocket. And then he'll look at you and he'll say, I think I'm going to go right, Phil.
Hell yeah. I was on the same boat, Brendan. I was like, I will not believe it until it happens. Like I'm tired of predicting it.
I've got some receipts from you after Thursday.
Yeah, I think I said
bad receipts. You with every other member of golf media.
I mean, Andy wrote about Xander. You were so impressed with Xander about how he talks about how he let go of the ropes. Like, Xander has so much personality and life now. Talking about how he could let go of the rope sometimes when he's in contention, and then like discovering an inner peace and calm. Like, he impressed you a lot during the practice days. Justin Thomas, we're literally about to start the Masters, announces that Joe Griner is caddying for him. So we have the breakup, and then he's on JT's bag. It's just like caddy carousel. Big hot topic is the range tracker, and because they had the number of balls hit. Max Homa hit 6 rounds worth of balls on the range in one day. Obviously, Bryson would be your leader. Brentley had a practice ball count going. Like, Bryson had 393 by midday Tuesday. Mike Weir, I loved, was at 21. Just like goes, takes a couple cuts and goes off and running. So that was fun. Brooks plays a practice round with Freddie Couples. So there's all this drama, Phil tweets that Freddie's a low-class jerk move, and then there they are, Brooks and Freddie, hamming it up, playing together. John Rahm got a little testy about whether it's hard to tell nowadays whether he's a top 10 player in the world. He also said, I think last year the state of my game was unfairly judged based on how I played at Augusta and the PGA compared to how I really played throughout the whole year. While I understand why it's hard to assess live, I don't think it was the most fair state of my game. So he's like complaining that he got purely based on sort of his major underwhelming.
That's what the money is for.
Yeah, right. It was kind of a little world's smallest violin. Like, you didn't have a good majors year. That's how we, judge a lot of these guys. PJ goes to Augusta for the first time ever. Had a great write-up in our Tuesday newsletter. Tuesday was his first time ever. Just fun to read that back. And his appraisal of all the food. And you would go again. You'd also go to Hooters. PJ's first time. Just always fun reading
PJ was a man about town.
Yep.
Covered a lot of ground that week.
Yep. Bobby McIntyre has to ask rules officials about the greens reading books. He's like, can I use aim point? Because you can't use the official greens reading books that they do for the PGA Tour event. He uses aim point, which takes the slope percentages into account. Wanted to confirm that he could make notes in his yardage book about slopes by reading and measuring by using his feet, going through his aim point process. The rules officials will say this is okay as long as you're not using any kind of device to measure the slope. So you can kind of prance around and write your notes. And yeah, just think about these guys being thrown for a loop. I mean, if Augusta does it, why can't the tour just do this? Why not take Augusta feels like they know what they're doing, maybe a little bit with creating compelling golf. Anyways, it's just crazy. They have to ask the rules officials. Bryson had some funny chat about how tedious it was to find a driver head that works. He said he would hold it in his hands and cradle the driver heads in his hands like a little baby. It's tedious. Talking about the micron level analysis. Scott O'Neill is seen on site spending time with Trevor Immelman, maybe about OWGR stuff.
I met Scott O'Neill at that Masters. I introduced myself.
I think Yasser was there, right?
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
He came out under the tree for a little bit. Augusta shows off renderings of its new locker room facility. Everybody's worked up about this. The Pampered Fs will have a nice facility next time. And maybe the worst timing ever to announce something. The Olympics announces mixed team golf will be approved for Riviera. It's just an interesting nugget, but nobody's on that. Fred Ridley has asked the most rambling question ever. A guy just wanted to get off his slow play. I think this is John Hopkins of England. I said, I'm wondering what your reaction was on Sunday afternoon. This is drive, chip, and putt. When you saw the little mite of a golfer use the aim point, and take some time to do it. And then having lined up the par putt like that, she then went on a tour of the putt, calling in it at every compass point on the way around and taking perhaps as much as 2 minutes. I'm wondering what your reaction to that was. Secondly, in view of your comments now about pace of play, I'm wondering whether in the spirit of the great founder who said so much about etiquette and so on and so forth, there's even the thought that you might lead the way in trying to encourage these young players to get a bloody move on. And a lot of laughter, just a soliloquy. Ridley says, well, I think that example really illustrates the problem. And unfortunately, he adds, they might put timing in for drive, chip, and putt. Just what the world needs now is we need a play clock for drive, chip, and putt.
Yank these kids off the course. Just get out there with and take it too much. You're done.
So that's coming apparently at 26. But a great question, I think, from John Hopkins. That was not a lot from Ridley Presser other than that. But perhaps the catnip moment of the practice rounds is Cameron Smith on the driving range in a blue blazer. This goes mega viral, nuts. He's wearing a blazer on Wednesday and warming up. Everybody just has a field day with that. And that was your moment of the practice round.
Phil paved the way for this generation of antics with his mizzen and main. Then followed was and now Cam Smith.
That's right. That does it for your practice days going into Augusta. I think I'm throwing it to Andy for tournament days here.
All right, we got it. We're on the clock here.
Yeah.
We got a hard stop.
Yep.
We got to get through this in an hour. We've crossed the 2-hour Rubicon. Let's see if we can do it.
Let's do it.
First round leader, Justin Rose shoots a 65 and the course was fiery. It was hard, particularly the 15th green. The new 15th green was causing players fits. So Justin Rose leads by 3. He shoots 65. Corey Connors and Scheffler are behind him at 68, and Ludwig, who, arrived in style. we'll say, or Ludwig.
Oh yeah, he had a nice scripting. That's right, a bunch of Adidas fancy boy.
And he was driving in comfort down Magnolia Lane. Most importantly, Hatton and Bryson are at T5. So this is the 5th time in his career that he led after 18th holes. Extraordinary feat. I mean, kind of a crazy Masters for Justin Rose. Crazy Masters career, and you just kind of hope he gets one.
Yep. I forgot about 65. I did.
Hovland, who shoots 71 on Justin Rose's opening 65. Ridiculous. That's nuts. Those greens are so firm. I think this is probably a little bit more impressive because out of all the Masters I've played, this is probably the firmest it's been since I've played. On a Thursday, it's definitely no joke out there. As always, the Masters honorary starters just deliver. The press conference is KVV's favorite pastime. Is going to that. You never know how long it's going to be. But, they had a great prognosis. Brentley, this was a tweet from Brentley. It's just kind of like excerpted from each of their responses of who they believe would win the Masters. They all 3 pick Rory McIlroy.
Crazy.
Tom Watson, that's my gut feeling. Gary Player, he has the best swing in golf without question. He's the fittest golfer. He does a deadlift of 400 pounds.
Oh my God. That's why.
Jack Nicklaus, perhaps the best idea, having had lunch with McIlroy with just last week in Jupiter, Florida. We were talking and I said, Rory, I know you prepared for Augusta. Tell me how you're going to play the golf course. We went through it shot for shot. And he got done with the round and I didn't open my mouth and I said, well, I wouldn't change a thing. That's exactly the way I would play the golf course.
That sounds
great advice, Jack.
Up. That sounds completely. That sounds just completely made up. But I love it. I love the romanticism of it.
Well, so what he said, following up, which I think is probably, if you talk, I think one of the things that Rory has become. You think about just last week at Royal Melbourne, who played with him that had the quote like, "I've never seen somebody play so conservative and so controlled and disciplined effectively."
Yeah.
This is what Jack said. The discipline to do that is what Rory has lacked, in my opinion. He's got all the shots. He's got all the game. He certainly is as talented as anybody in the game. And I think if you look at Rory and you look at his maturation as a major championship player, from 2016, 2017, when he had his kind of period of downturn in the majors to what he is now, the discipline is just at a absurd level. The intelligence of how to play, even going back to like Oak Hill, where I think he made some tactical errors that kept him out of that championship with his probably C game that week. Yeah. The maturation of him in the recent years and the understanding of golf courses and how to play them is at an all-time high.
I would say like LACC was really like kind of the Rubicon maybe for that. Like where it's like, God, this, even though he missed that was more sort of a missed club on 14, but felt like, God, this guy's strategizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KVV in this press conference just throws a meatball over the middle for Gary Player. PJ hit it.
In 1997, when Tiger Woods won the Masters, he revealed that he famously ate at Arby's every single night. I was wondering when the last time you had any fast food was.
Well, you don't reach 90 as I do if you eat a bunch of crap, I can tell you that. But that's your choice. Everybody has a choice. I want to live to 100 because I love people, I love golf, I just love life. I've got a young girlfriend who changed my life. How about that at 90, finding a girlfriend? Tom's not as old as me, but he's also found a new one. And it's
my favorite part.
I'll tell you what, guys, one of you or your wife are going to die. One of you are going to die. One of the spouses is going to die. And it's not the end of life. And so many people, that does happen, and they get so disheartened that they don't think they should continue life. The greatest gift bestowed upon a man or woman is life. And so My ambition is to reach 100. So I went to India and I met a gerontologist, and he gave me 11 things to work on, which I adhere to. And so I might drop dead tomorrow, but I'm giving it a hell of a try.
Just incredible.
I forgot about Tom Watson. He's got another new girlfriend.
Tom, I was looking at Tom during that, and Tom was like, "Oh, Gary, unbelievable, Gary."
Just an incredible question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sergio dresses like Ronald McDonald. Just yellow pants, red top, fireball gear.
Wow, that really is on the nose. Very close.
Just incredible. I gotta say, Sergio has had some all-time outfits. When Tiger shipped Tweety Bird off,
yep.
When he dressed all yellow for Sunday, he's just had some incredible outfits through the years. You touched on the hat. This is the hat discourse on the opening round when we got shots like this with egg salad in the background on 16T. This is where people are like, "What are we doing? What are we doing with these hats?"
God, people suggested that was a doppelganger for me. I didn't like that.
Oh,
you had the short haircut that everybody was.
I gotta get a haircut now. People
chatting about
commentary about my hat.
the Spieth Carnoustie haircut.
Yeah, got butchered.
Well, now it seems like you're reluctant to get the hair.
Oh, I'm going this week. I just got to find the time. Your review's jamming me.
Sometimes it's hard to find time to get a haircut.
I haven't gotten a haircut since before Port Rush. Kind of insane.
Wow.
All right.
Also from that Champions press conference, Jack, on Phil still competing at a high level. Well, I don't know what level Phil is competing at. I guess he's still playing. He's playing the LIV Tour.
I forgot about that.
He's playing the LIV Tour, is he? I don't know if he's playing or not. I don't know. You never see that anymore.
He could be anything.
He could be playing, could be not playing. Who's to say?
It's not on TV. I don't know.
All right, let's get to the golf a little. Fred Couple holes out from inside 200 yards with a yellow ball and a hybrid. That was a fun moment.
That's funny.
Nick Dunlap shoots a 90 in the opening round. Just awful round. You feel for him. The story comes out the next day about him hitting drivers in the dark at his Airbnb. Two buckets of balls into the woods.
That's so sick.
And he shoots 71 on Friday. And it was like the all-time comeback. Still finishes DFL, but it was like a feel-good story. I believe he hit 3-wood everywhere.
I've never related to something more than like panic hitting drivers off the back deck of your thing. You're on a golf trip. Things are not going well. You're just like, all right, how can I find this? Brendan knows the story. So one day I brought a net to a golf trip. I'll tell that story someday, but it's probably the low point of my entire golf life.
It's a net at a resort, famous resort, just hitting balls into a net in the middle of the night.
No.
All right.
No.
All right.
Of course, maybe the biggest story of the day. It's not Rory. It's not Justin Rose. Do you know what it is?
What, Bryson? What happened? Bernie?
It's Jose Ballester.
Oh,
who the USAM champ decides to take a pee in Rays Creek.
Well, I completely forgot that we had those restrooms on the left of the tee box.
Oh, okay. 13th tee.
Yes, correct. And then I'm like, I really need to pee.
Eric just grilling him.
Didn't really know where to go, and since JT had an issue around the green, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sneak here in the river. Probably the people would not see me that much, and then they clap for me. Probably one of the clubs that I really got today, like real loud. So that was kind of funny.
And I do it again.
There might be any blowback from that at all, or I mean, obviously. They did see you, right?
Yeah, they saw me. They saw me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not embarrassing at all for me. So if I had to do it again, I would do it again.
I'll do it again.
Oh, the agent got their hooks in them by the next hour, I think, right?
So of course, before he takes the P, everybody's talking about the upside down Sun Devils hat. Like, what's going on here? Herrig, who's the one grilling him, he writes this up, and the headline in Sports Illustrated is "Amateur urinates in creek near 13th green in opening round."
I mean, technically, that's all true. That is what happened.
Amateur urinates.
When the facts are funnier than they could possibly convey.
Yeah, just strip all context out. That is what happened.
Pissing in Ray's Creek.
Jack Milko on Twitter. While I was in the grandstands overlooking the 13th green and 14th tee, Jose Luis Ballester had to take relief, but not for what you think. Immediately after playing his third shot, he sprinted toward the tributary and urinated about 60 yards short of the green and into the creek. I have never seen a golfer do that.
What? I still like the thought process of like, oh, it'd be better to piss in the creek than just like over by a tree.
Wander into the woods. Yeah.
Truly incredible.
You can go pretty deep into those woods. And there's like a path behind it that only people working the tournament are using.
Yeah.
Safe place.
Of course, as he's alluded to, there is like the one place on the course where there's like a permanent bathroom structure just left of the tee box.
Yeah. So anyways, that was P-Gate. That was fun. That'll live in infamy for a long time among the great tales of amateur play
at Augusta.
Yeah. There'll be, when who was the amateur that would drink out on the roof of Augusta National and the Crow's Nest in the 70s? What was that from? Do you remember that?
Stranahan obviously was the amateur, got kicked out. Frank Stranahan, I don't know. I don't remember who was up on the roof.
God, I can't remember. You think about like how much the tournament's changed. Like, it was. I think it was in like 78 or 79. I just can't remember who it was, but like they talked about taking a bunch of beers from the restaurant, putting them in the Crow's Nest, and crawling out the window to drink beer. In between rounds at Augusta on the roof of the clubhouse. And, now we're going to talk about a guy urinating in the Race Creek. Nick Taylor had a great thing on Thursday post round. If you hang in there mentally, as long as you can, hopefully good things happen. But if you start pressing out here, that's when things start going a little sideways. It's kind of reminiscent of what Jeff Ogilvy said on Fried Egg Pod once, where it's like it's a really simple course to shoot 72 if you go out and say I'm just going to make par every hole. But the second you start trying to make birdies, that's when you open the door to bogeys and doubles. Rory has it going. Just he's flying high, and the first round was like kind of a microcosm of the week. It's just so clear he has it in the week, and he's 4 under going into 15, pumps it right down the middle, great drive, hits it over the green. Just 3 groups earlier, there's a lot of fodder because everybody's favorite golfer Patrick Cantlay chipped it from over the green, into the water. I think I tweeted something like that's a distressing place to chip from after he chipped. Rory hits an almost identical spot. And, of course, he hasn't watched Cantlay's chip.
Yep.
And everybody is like, uh-oh. Like, what's he going to do with this? I think he caught it a little thin. And it ends up going in the water. He ends up taking the drop on the other side of the creek, of the pond, which was like, people were like, whoa, what's he doing? To get the wedge, that just shows how hard that chip shot was. Rather than replay the chip shot, which is 10 yards off the green, he goes and hits like the most feared wedge shot in golf from the drop area. 2 putts, makes a doubles 17 also. The wheels come off. He shoots 72, and everybody is disheartened. Kevin, you're here. I love you. Your tweet. Here's your tweet after this. I would love it if Liv stands would hold Rahm to the same standard we hold Rory. This is a shitty back nine for Rory, and we've seen this movie too many times. I can't believe y'all fell for it again, but at least he was in it for a second. Rahm going I here again stinks. Dylan
Good point.
tweeted, man, what a dark scene following that Rory group on the way in. Just hundreds of 30-something men riding high and then watching things unravel in slow motion. Horror show. Well, this was just the start of that emotional roller coaster.
That's true.
I think my point about the Liv thing just was that Rahm, all those people always we've always been hard on Rory. Like it's like so frustrating sometimes when you're like, it's fell for it again, but everyone's always making excuses for Rahm, and I was just like, just let's hold them to the same. If they're similarly caliber players, hold them to the same standard. But I fully admit that I even wrote about this in our week of Rory recently. My doubts were immense. Like I was like, I don't think this is ever going to happen for them. This place has too many demons for him.
Yeah, I mean, like NLU pronounced him dead with Randy coming on the pod to tap dance on his grave. I'd like to say one podcast said this is not over. He played great. And you need to look at, hey, he's got the game right now. He just had a couple things go wrong. Now he would, everybody was doing I love data. Everybody,
big data guy.
Nobody's ever done this. Like statistically, you can't come back from 7 down after the one round. Everybody did this. Well, like that's why we play the fucking game.
Otherwise, we could just simulate the whole fucking thing in a computer.
So let's just stop playing because the data says that this couldn't happen. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Lucas Glover shoots 78. Has some great. I loved Brentley calling it an efficient press conference.
Would you like to ask the questions and I'll read the answers here?
Lucas, how would you assess the overall conditions?
The course was perfect.
How would you describe your first round here?
Awful.
What's the key to turning that around?
Not doing anything I did today.
End of press conference.
You good? All right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate y'all.
One of the most amusing opening rounds is Bernie Longer is playing with long-hitting Noah Kent, USAM runner-up speed demon, promising young player. And you just see the difference. I wrote in the newsletter about this, but the difference in styles of play and Bernie just puts him in a body bag. Just shows the youngster where to play to, where not to play to. Noah Kent just drove it right over the bunker on the first green. Bernie's pulling out lumber to hit into the first hole, and Noah Kent's flipping a lob wedge. And it's like nobody in no other sport would these two be matched up and possibly Bernard Longer win.
Well, we'll see. Who's gonna set the edge against Phil Rivers this weekend? Come for him. It could be amusing. Anyway,
at one point in the first round, Zach Johnson led. Corey Connors is in the mix. I get the Canadians riled up early and often this week. I basically just say he has no chance.
I forgot about this.
I mean, you were mad.
You were just incessant. You were unrelenting. There was a Twitter poll like every 6 hours. Does Corey Connors have any chance? He was in like solo third going into Sunday, and it was Corey Connors contender pretender, and you immediately said pretender. He has no chance.
There was like a leaderboard that was like the real leaderboard on the Andy leaderboard. It didn't include Corey Connors.
Corey Connors was never on the Andy leaderboard at any point.
The Canadians are already upset about the tariffs, as we learned earlier in this thing, and you just got to go at them further. I mean, come on.
I just want to point out the easiest take to have, and a lot of people do this, is to be negative. And to say this person's not going to win, because in a golf tournament, the Masters, there's 87 or 88 contestants and only one winner. The easiest take to do is to be like, hey, he's not going to win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chances are good. You're right. Yeah.
Patrick Reed, close out Thursday. Incredible press conference. Peach, play it. Did I send this to you?
I don't think I have it.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry. I'll just
piss poor.
God, I'm gonna send it over to you.
Send it to me. I'll get it.
You get it back. We'll come back to this. We can't miss this one.
Okay, send it to me.
We'll go to Friday and we'll come back. So Friday at the Masters. Incredible day. Spieth is got a hot mic situation. He says, or not hot mic, but he hits the trees on 18 again.
Right off the left there. Yeah.
And the mic picks up him talking to Greller. And he goes, I'm so frustrated, Matt. And Greller just goes, well, get over it.
Good job, Michael.
We have P if we want to do P.
All right, let's do P.
All right, let's do P.
Putted like a blind man. Just kept leaving them a little short, and just when I finally got the ball to the hole, didn't have the right read, so putted horridly. Not going to win golf tournaments, not going to, putt in the way I putted today. You got to give putts a chance. Leaving them short, there's just no need for that. You want to break it. You want to break the putter. That's what you want to do.
You actually didn't.
No. Should have. So, I was hitting it fine. Ball striking wasn't the problem. The flat stick's on vacation and needs to kind of show up. Needs to get on a flight and meet me here.
That last one was my favorite one. The flat six on vacation. It's got to get on a flight to meet me here. What a line.
Putted like a blind man.
Like a blind man. I miss P. I miss him.
Scottie was like dialed on Thursday, and as the I think we do this with Scottie. Scottie is pretty. The word's always inevitable, and people are quick to be like, "This is over." It feels like it when he gets in the mix, and it felt like it on Thursday. Friday is a little bit more of a challenge, and the writing was on the wall that he probably didn't have it. Even though he posted a good score and he was right there, like he's right in the mix going into the weekend. He hits it into the bushes on 12 in the back bushes, and not there yet. Peach.
That's 18.
That's 18. So he hits it in the bushes on 12, and it spits out to the back of the green, and he chips in.
Can I do like a minute-long story here? I don't mean to make this go further. This is right as I am going to meet you guys at the media center. We don't have phones, whatever. You tell me be here at 4:00. I stay an extra 2 minutes to watch Scottie hit this ball into the trees. And I go, oh my God, finally a bad break for Scottie. It's over. I turn around, I leave. By the time I get to you, I go, oh my God, did you see that? You go, what? That he made a 3? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, he went in the trees. And you were like, no, it came back out and spit back out. And I could not fathom what had happened.
So he chips in there. On 13, he hits it inside the hazard line. And I believe he chips in there.
I think
so. He plays this stretch of holes where he's hit very bad shots, gotten incredible breaks, 3 under par. Then on 18, he hits it again into his bush corner on 18, where he seems to have the yips on 18T.
He does.
It's because he has that fade is a little uncomfortable with the trees on the left, and he's worried about it. So he's in there, and he's gets pretty bossy about how he deserves a drop.
Hit the siren. I mean, he's under a big azalea tree, God.
And he's trying to get a drop from some cord, and it's it was if he had gotten a drop, I think I would have I would have said this tournament's
a farce.
A farce.
Asterisk.
He doesn't get the drop, and I think he bogeyed that hole. So anyways, Rory is the story of the day. He shoots 66. Through 2 rounds at the Masters, he has yet to make a bogey. He shoots a bogey-free 66. He pars the first 8 holes, and it feels like he's just kind of stuck. And and then he just explodes on the back 9. A huge shot, a shot that kind of gets forgotten because of Sunday. This is a shot on 13. from the Pine Straw.
God, so good.
I love the no bogeys quirk. He had 2 doubles, but no bogeys.
No bogeys.
That's a good shot. Rory has gone thermonuclear. Wasn't this like he thought it was going in? Didn't he think it was going in the creek here or something?
Yeah. So here's the quote. So can you take us through 13th and your decision for the Pine Straw and what you were thinking when the ball was sailing through the air? Yeah, I think it was 189 to the front. So I didn't think it was really a decision to go for it or not, but it was between a 4 and a 5 iron. And usually the ball comes out spinnier out of this Pine Straw. So I hit 4 iron and the follow through. Definitely I saved it. And I was glad that I hit the 4 iron. I covered that little corner there. But yeah, when the ball was in the air, I was like, you idiot. What did you do? It's one of those as well. It's a pin that even if you do hit it in the hazard, it's a pretty not routine up and down. It's a little easier. Say where the pin was yesterday in the front. Yeah, I rode my luck a little bit with that second shot, but it was a nice to take advantage of it. And I think I remember this is just recall. It was about time that Rory got a good break at Augusta National. You're talking about a guy who's basically gotten just terrible breaks after terrible break. So Garrett had a great tweet about Rory. Me, after watching 36 holes of Rory golf at Augusta, is woozy sitting on a bench. Just
little did he know, 36. This is child's play by the end of the week. What was to come?
Here's after 66, put him firmly in the top 5 of contention. Rory said he was excited about the opportunity ahead for the next 2 days, given the names around him on the leaderboard. We all should be. It was a hell of a weekend for golf and narratives at the Masters. On him regrouping after the last holes Thursday, I had a good conversation with Bob Rotella in the morning, mostly around not pushing too hard early, trying to get those shots back straight away. And you can sort of see how I played with 8 pars and a birdie on the front 9. I just tried to stay really, really patient. I feel like that patience was rewarded with a nice little stretch there in the middle of the round. All right, on to others. Brooks makes a quad on 18 to miss the cut.
Ooh,
sorry, Peach.
This is another great story. This is when like people. I tell people I went to the Masters, I go, what's your favorite thing? Pete and I are in the grandstand on 15. Brooks makes an eagle. I'm out of my mind. He's in contention. He hits a good shot on 16. I think he's going to make birdie, but we can't see it. Whatever. We leave. I go call my friend like 2 hours later. I was like, hey, how about BK? Like, where are we? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, I saw him make an eagle on 15. Like, we got to be in it. And he was like, oh, no, he quadded to 18 and missed the cut. I was like, what? Like, how is that even possible? That was like, I think that's going to be my all-time favorite Masters memory, no matter how many more I go to.
It was a disaster, the 18th. It was like an all-time quad, without a penalty stroke. Like, very hard to make an 8 on that hole for a pro. Shortly after, a couple groups later, his good lifting pal DJ makes a double there to miss the cut. Will this had to hurt PJ in the newsletter. Following the lead of Jose Luis Ballester, Koepka soiled himself on the final hole on Friday, making a quadruple bogey to miss the cut and make it 7 straight majors in which he has not been a factor. Bryson said in a post round, somebody asked him about the driving range. He said, I can go through 100 swing thoughts a week pretty easily.
Forgot about this.
And he was quite happy to learn that he had hit more balls on the range than any other player.
So excited. He wanted a green jacket for it.
He's playing phenomenally.
Yeah.
Like the best we've ever seen him play at Augusta. And someone is unhappy about his lack of coverage on the television. Guess who it is? I'll give you each a guess. PJ doesn't get one.
I know the answer, but I didn't remember this at all, and I was dying laughing when I saw this.
Trump? Greg Norman? Who?
LeBron? Greg Norman Jr.?
No. Lil Wayne.
Wheezy F, baby. The Masters blew it with this lack of coverage on Bryson. They got to stop hating on the live shit. This man is killing it out there, and I can't watch.
Hell yeah.
This is Garrett on the newsletter on Bryson, and he becomes a big story on the weekend. Known for his aggressive game plans at majors, the big golfer has adopted a notably cautious strategy at Augusta National in recent years. Today, he kept his driver in the bag on 7 of the course's 14 non-par threes. He laid up from the pine straw on the 13th hole, par 5. He even hit iron off the 3rd tee, leaving himself nearly a full wedge to a left pin on the short par 4, a tactic perennially poo-pooed by spreadsheet-wielding course management gurus. At his post-round press conference, DeChambeau explained why he took this approach. Hitting driver up there, I would have had a 70-yard shot into the wind, which is fine. I wouldn't have been able to get the right spin on it to get it close. It would have bounced by the flag and gone 15, 20 feet by. So I felt like laying up gave me a better chance to land it soft and spin it next to the hole, which I did. He went on to acknowledge that his thoughts on the 3rd hole had changed over time. I learned from past experience. Hitting it up there, having a tight 75-yard shot that I really can't control, I'd rather have a 1039 iron in for me. And then Garrett signs off on this little thing with, avert your eyes, data boys. Amazing. It's just not, exactly how you could play is based off of a satellite image of a hole. Bernie Longer bogeys 18 to miss the cut by 1. It was just incredible watching him play. It was a cool scene. Ridley was there. It was a bummer. He bogeyed 18. Yasser meets Condoleezza Rice and Ridley at Augusta per Amen, and the day ends with the leaderboard: Justin Rose -8, Bryson -7, Rory -6. Corey Connors was on this leaderboard, not on mine, at -6. Matt McCarty at -5. I don't think he was on my leaderboard either. Shane Lowry, Scheffler, and Hatton all at 5. Just real quick, last thing before we kick to KVV, who's on the clock. Shaq newsletter, must read, as always. The old school feeling of this Masters is in sharp contrast to the recent tendency to have only a few players with a shot going into Sunday. Despite the obvious advantages of hitting it at least 320 yards, it's not a coincidence that the more egalitarian blend of hole locations and gradual restoration of landing area width might be bringing back playing angles that reward all types of players. This freeing up just a bit more room to attack has meant opportunity for a geezer set to plot their way around, even if some of the recent track records suggest a few have no business making it to the weekend. Barring a freakishly low score by one of the top 4 on Saturday, we'll have players from all demos, nationalities, experience levels in 2025 in the 2025 mix. So let's start by addressing their staggering play by a number of washed-up former champions, giving this one a distinctly 80s Masters vibe. Then we'll get a robust collection of quotes, some more merch, and a weekend of forecasts. And the weekend forecast. Just awesome first 2 days of the Masters. Take it away, KVV.
Bringing in the closer for one of the greatest rounds of all time. On the clock.
On a 29-minute hard stop.
Well, honestly, you guys can just sign off. We may have to go. We'll see. Let's get through it. Go ahead.
All right. So this doesn't come out until Sunday, but this happens Friday night. This guy, Paul Perlman, a local Augusta resident, this is an ESPN story. Paul Perlman is used to a nonstop party of Masters Week. The 64-year-old lifelong resident of Augusta has seen it all. He's an eclectic artist whose home is more or less a museum on Lake Olmsted and is often the center of festivities during Masters Week. He knows his history, particularly when it comes to local lore at Augusta. As an avid golfer, he's even built a world-class putting green in his backyard, which is with an impressive lighting array. Why am I reading about some artist who had a putting green? Well, Bryson DeChambeau is walking through the neighborhoods of Augusta late at night on Friday, and this is after hitting balls until they turn the lights off at Augusta.
That's right.
And he just rolls up. He's walking across a bridge next to this guy's home, and the guy says, "Hey, do you guys play golf?" And Bryson walks over and says, "Hi, I'm Bryson DeChambeau." And this guy says, "Yeah, and I'm Jack Nicklaus." And when Bryson then steps into the light, Perlman realizes it wasn't a lookalike. "Oh, I'm not really Jack Nicklaus." So Bryson just starts like goofing around, putting with this guy. His guy's got like a 72-degree wedge. And so Bryson's hitting like ridiculous high flops into the sky with it. He said it was like the Goodyear blimp was flying over, dropping balls onto flags. They goofed around, putting, whatever. And he tells his wife, Bryson's in the backyard. His wife says, "You're full of shit." And he says, "Nope." They go and they chat with him and just like have a great time. It really quite strange to have that. As you know, always the Masters is fun Saturday morning because it's like, the memes kind of get to come out. So we're still making jokes about things here. There was a great Antifaldo tweet here about the pissing in Rays Creek incident here.
This is good.
Pretending is a picture of Johnson Wagner, and it says, "Are you sure?" And the answer is yes, Johnson. We're going to need you to piss in Rays Creek.
Produce.
Perfect picture.
Recreate it. Go, Johnson.
All right. So the things we're starting to kind of wrestle with history here. Kyle Porter had a pretty good question. He sort of put out there, said, a question I've been grappling with over the last day or so. What is it, especially about Rory, that you love? Or conventionally, what is it about Rory that you hate? It's clear that nobody, the non-Tiger division, engenders as much emotion from fans as Rory does. Obviously, a part of it is he's great at golf. He hits outrageous shots. He wins a ton. But it also seems to go beyond that. I've always struggled to understand why. What is it about him that elicits very real, strong feelings, both and against him? I would love to hear from you. This is the only writing that Kevin Van Valkenburg got to do during the Masters. So I'm including this in my own tweet here. It's like Obama pitting the medal on himself here. I said, in response to Kyle's tweet, flaws are more interesting than perfection when it comes to transcendent athletes. Rory's talent is prodigious, but the fact that he's also made mistakes, said or done things he's regretted, cried and strutted, laughed and lashed out, makes it feel like an actual human was blessed with unreal golf talent. Like in stories when a god would fall from the sky stories when a god would fall for a human and the result would be a child with remarkable gifts, but the same flaws and emotions as a normal person. Wrestling with that conflict is a story as old as storytelling. That was my gamer, essentially, from the Masters too.
Good stuff.
At the start of the day, Justin Rose is our solo leader. Bryson is a shot back. Rory and the aforementioned Corey Connors are 2 shots back. Rory starts the day.
Was he really, though?
Not to everybody.
Yeah, not. Yeah, it might have been a green screen.
Yeah,
Corey,
he actually wasn't. He didn't even play the weekend.
Rory starts the day 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. First time that has ever happened. He'll go on to make 9 threes on the day, but no one, according to Justin Rea, going back 40 years of research, had ever started a round with 6 straight threes. After he birdied the 5th hole, Nance gives the full. He's out of his mind right now.
That was a great call.
Nance was so good all week. He just was coming up over and over. Rory, you'd think that Rory played like flawless during this round, but you know that the Augusta sort of proves that it's impossible to essentially play flawless. He did bogey the 8th and the 10th hole, and he'd taken the lead, but then sort of regressed and gave it back. But then he birdies 13, and when he gets to 15, it's the perfect drive in the middle of the fairway. This, in some ways, could go down as like one of the great shots of the history of this tournament if it wasn't sort of, I guess, topped in some ways by the shot that comes tomorrow. But hits an unbelievable 7-iron. It's just launched into the air. It is high as can be. And Nance says, "A rainbow maker," tumbling down. Rolls out to 4 feet, and Rory makes the eagle, shoots 66, does not have the low round of the day, actually ties the low round of the day with former Masters winner Zach Johnson.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. I forgot about that.
Yes.
God.
After Rory's eagle putt dropped on 15, Bryson DeChambeau was 5 shots behind. So it seems like, oh man, like, if anybody's going to catch him, it's not going to be like, it's going to be Justin Rose or whatever. But then Bryson birdies 15 and then he birdies 16. And when he birdies 16, he turns to the crowd and just does like this mean mug, like professional wrestling. It's like I was right there. It was one of the loudest roars I think I've ever heard. He's gritting his teeth and he's like menacing with his putter. The press asked him afterwards, what was your message you're trying to send? And Bryson said, "I'm still here and I'm not going to back down." He just really didn't. He made a ridiculous 48-foot birdie on 18. It was already in the final group if he two-putted, but it was sort of like a clear message of like, oh, I remember thinking like, oh crap, like Bryson's gonna do this all over again to Pinehurst. This is bad. If you're cheering for Rory in this situation, like Bryson just threw down the gauntlet. So they asked him sort of in the press, talk about it. He said, when I see it through, this is Bryson, when I see it 3 feet from the hole and it looks like it's going in, my body just starts immediately walking. I don't know why. It just kind of happens. And I'm walking over to the side to see if it was going in. And sure enough, it did. And I mean, it was great. It was just electric. You can get chills all over your body. You feel like almost euphoria in a sense. It just feels really cool. Great quote from Bryson there.
Yeah.
So Justin Rose actually like kind of regressed in this moment. He's been leading off, the first couple rounds, but he just kind of, his putting is really bad. On 16, when Bryson made that birdie, Rose actually hit it inside of Bryson on that tee and just brutally 3 putts. So it looks like he's going to make a 2. Bryson does make his 2, and Rose makes a 4. He's 5 down now. It just looks like we're no good. Some of the discourse afterwards about, what are you watching, Rory? We got to know like what's going on in Rory's social media life. He says, I watched a little bit of Premier League football this morning, and I actually watched a little of Zootopia with Poppy. Very, very good movie if anyone is interested.
I wonder if they were they got into Zootopia too.
Yeah, that's hot right now.
Just hit at the movie theaters.
I feel like maybe he should save it for this coming Masters. This was kind of a long time after Zootopia had come out too. So maybe just save it on a schedule for big moments for
one thing.
Poppy.
Was a 5-year-old likes to rewatch movies.
So true. My kids were so freaked out by Zootopia. I think I took them to Zootopia as like 5-year-old in the theater, and the very end scene where like it looks like the Jason Bateman Fox character is going to eat the bunny. They were like sobbing in the theaters. I was like, oh, so Poppy has a little bit more emotional self-control, I guess, than my kids that age. Okay, so Bryson says it is going to be the grandest stage we've had in a long time. Talking about playing with Rory tomorrow. Not everyone, though, is thrilled to talk about Rory and Bryson. Shane Lowry makes a couple bogeys coming in. And I think we might have this video with Peach. He gets up to the mic and gets a couple questions about Rory. And then Shane says,
I'm not going to stand there and talk about Rory for 10 minutes. I'm trying to win the tournament as well. So I know that's what you all want me to talk about. But I've just had a finish. I've got a chance to win the Masters tomorrow. I'm going to hit some balls. I enjoyed every bit of today, and then I hit that putt in 17, and gee, I couldn't believe it. I thought I did a great holding the one back, and then I just hit a very poor tee shot on 18. But I'm going to go, and we talked about Colin Morikawa a few weeks ago. I think we need time. I think I need a half an hour now to sit there and gather my thoughts. I can't be coming to talk to you guys straight away. It shouldn't be happening. I don't agree with it. Tennis players have to talk to the media, but they have half an hour before they have to do it. I feel like we should have the same thing, and that's how I feel. Like I'm probably going to say something stupid. I probably already have said something stupid because I'm pissed off right now. So I'm just going to leave. Okay.
No, thank you, Shane. Thank you.
I just like to point out that NFL players have 10 minutes to cool down, and the most violent game in the world. They're punching each other in the face, and then we're still able to talk. Golfers need a half an hour. A lot of good tweets, just kind of setting up what's to come on Sunday. Kyle Porter was really in his bag all week. He said, "We have arrived. There are only 2 options now. This will either be one of the great victories in sports history or one of the most bitter defeats. There is no in between." Kyle again.
We might have found the in between.
Kyle also on Sunday morning found the John Grisham book that Rory mentioned that he was reading, and this is the opening of the John Grisham of this book. On a cold morning in early October of 1946, Peter Banning awoke before sunrise and had no thoughts of going back to sleep. For a long time, he lay in the center of his bed, stared at the dark ceiling, and asked himself for the 1,000th time if he had the courage. Finally, as the first trace of dawn peeked through a window, he accepted the solemn reality that it was time for the killing. I doubt Rory read that and thought oh, this relates to my life. But as a literary device, pretty good for things. Before we get to the action here, I just want to run through some of the celebrity sightings this week.
I'm glad he wasn't reading the Pelican Brief or the Firm. Yeah. He ended up with the Ray Grisham novel. There you go. All right.
Caitlin Clark is here at the Masters. She's, a lot of hanging with Nance and Noah Khan.
What is this picture?
I don't know. I don't know how that is. I'm probably at like a NetJets event, like in the evening of some kind, one of the houses that rents for lots of money. Caitlin had her whole family there. This is Caitlin Clark, mania. She could, not have been more of a sort of a celeb at this moment. And then this next one, I kind of forgot, but I remember people talking about this. Caroline Wozniacki at the Masters here.
David Lee too.
David Lee.
Yeah, well, that's how she is married to David Lee. I don't know if PJ has that picture. Yeah, like just making the rounds. Just normal, like bewitching of our guy Rory. Like what weird. The fuck? Definitely strange. I mean, hey, all power to him.
David Lee, great Nick. Once a Nick, always Nick. Fantastic player. Don't want to. No David Lee slanders allowed on my watch here.
Yeah. Too bad he didn't play for the Jazz.
Too bad he didn't play for the. Would have fit right in with the Jazz.
Yeah, a lot of talk. Speaking of famous athletes who sort of pivoted to something else. That there's a famous photographer going around this week. Shoots this great picture. It turns out it's Ken Griffey Jr. is a credentialed Masters photographer. If you could have told 14-year-old me that I would be like washing my hands in the media bathroom next to Ken Griffey Jr., my mind would have melted somehow. But that did happen early in the week. Rory was asked, again, how are you going to spend your time, whatever, and he says, I'll watch episode of Bridgerton or whatever. And somebody says, how did you spend last time in 2011 when you held the 54-hole lead? I says, that was 14 years ago. I have no idea. I guess I'm glad I have a short memory. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Jordan Spieth caused, I don't know if controversy is the right word, but said it got a little bit frustrated. Basically, Mudball.
You spoke of the unspoken at Augusta National.
Right.
You put it all on the table.
Gets up to the podium and says, my iron play killed me the last days. And to be brutally honest with you, it was primarily mud balls. And it's so frustrating because you can't talk about them here. You're not supposed to talk about them. Mud balls can affect this tournament significantly, especially when you get them a lot on 11 and 13. They're just daggers on those two holes. But every person has to deal with it. The fact that you're not supposed to talk about it is a bit frustrating because it's a difference maker. I just wanted to point out, I don't know if Peach, I hope you have this picture of Marty's outfit here. That this is an incredible.
Oh yes, I do.
Look here, the Jordan low cuts here with the suit. That's you gotta love that. So again, going back to Kyle Porter here, he had a pretty good tweet, but the response to this is even better. Kyle said, in the last 55 years, 12 humans have walked on the moon. In that same period of time, one human has won all 4 major championships in his career. That club could grow to 2 tomorrow. And Dylan DeShare of golf.com said, and in 5 years, Viktor Hovland will have done both. That was awesome. So we go into Sunday. Rory sits at 12 under. Bryson is at 10 under. Some Canadian is at 8 under, allegedly. Ludwig is at 6. Patrick Reed is at 6. And Justin Rose is at -5.
Rose had just an insanely bad putting day on Saturday. Yes. It's like, if you play this Masters, like I think it's the what if of the Masters is what if Justin Rose doesn't have one of the worst rounds on the greens of his career.
Saturday, yeah.
I think also probably Rory doesn't have the back nine he has if there's a closer contender.
Yeah, let's say a little bit more focused. Like anything, I mean, who knows? But a lot of things have to align up for an all-time great Masters, and because of all those things happened, we got one. The leaders don't go off for a bit, but before they do, Mr. Just a Guy, Jordan Spieth, is out here fist bumping patrons on the way to his first tee. He's carrying his putter upside down. And boom, he accidentally hit someone right in the nuts.
Oh, I don't think it's an accident. I think he did it on purpose.
He did it on purpose? Okay. You can see the guy bends over in pain. Smith does seem to be smiling pretty good there. So probably a little nut check moment here. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is.
I think he does it on purpose. I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is just a classic. I forgot this happened. Oh, yeah.
No.
I think he does it on purpose.
Great couple tweets from our Shock and Start boys here. Brendan says, the opportunity is so much greater and the pressure is way more intense than just one of the final two at the Masters. You have to wonder how it is all weighing on Rory McIlroy playing for 750 FedEx Cup points today. To which Andy responds, does he get the full 750 if Bryson wins and he finishes second?
Always a good retort. That's good.
Peach, do we have this Claire Rogers video here? That's a little mashup here. I thought she did an awesome job of contrasting how the two of them were preparing for their final round. And
one thing I've tried to do a good job of this week is just not being on the phone and just trying to stay clear of that and do other things.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's going to be practicing a little bit, eating, looking at my phone. I don't have a problem with that.
Please watch Zootopia with Poppy.
We're watching a movie probably tonight. Fun movie, be a James Bond movie.
Very good movie if anyone's interested.
I love James Bond movies.
Somebody clarified it's the Pierce Brosnan era of James Bond, which is apparently Bryson's preferred thing. All right, so it's Sunday morning and we are off. I got to walk through some of this play-by-play because it is truly one of the great rounds of all time, but I'll try to be expedient about it. Rory drives it in the bunker on the first tee, the bunker he's been carrying all week. He says he's super nervous later. He just couldn't generate the speed that he was. Has to pitch out, hits a bad chip kind of to the back of the green, hits a pretty bad putt that goes way by, and then misses that putt, a double on one. Bryson makes a pretty good par. And all of a sudden, we are freaking tied. After all that, he's just sort of given up his advantage. Rory drives it in the bunker again on two, has to lay up, hits a poor wedge, has to make par. Bryson makes a birdie. All of a sudden, Bryson is up by one. And this, dear listener, is the point where Kevin Valkenburg decides, I've seen this car crash too many times, and I head into the media center and decide I just can't stomach watching this all over again. I'm going to watch it on television. But on three, Rory hits a great drive down up by the green. It's an incredible chip, maybe the most underrated shot that he had all year. Sort of a one-hop chip that stops still above the hole, but enough to where he's got maybe a 4 or 5 footer. Makes that birdie. Bryson, on the other hand, laying back, as we talked about here, hits a wedge that goes way above the hole, and he cannot two-putt bogeys. And all of a sudden, we have flipped now again. Rory leads now 11-10. If you think Justin Rose played a flawless round, he actually kind of didn't. He bogeyed 4 and 5, and he's 5 under par walking to 7T, 6 shots behind Rory. But he makes a great birdie on 7, even though nobody's really thinking about what's going on, because Rory makes another birdie at number 4, like a really sweet slider putt that gets him back to 12 under. We're about to begin, though, the true like cocaine train of like Rory roller coasters. Hits a wild drive on the right that ends up kind of in the trees, skies it high over the trees, somehow gets it up around greenside, gets up and down, makes par, able to stay at 12. All of a sudden, Rose, though, he's makes a heck of a 5 on, and Nance utters the words for the first time. This is a heck of a 5 on number 9, or on number 8, and Nance says, "Who knows? Rose is only 5 back. He's got a chance." Rory gets through 6 fine, but he goes way left on 7. And Harry is telling him, let's not hit it up above the trees. And Rory says later, I probably shouldn't have taken it on. It was like, no, I can do this. He hits a shot and it clips just a little bit of a pine tree and then almost holes out. He doesn't make the putt, but as he's walking up this, he tips his cap to Dottie and he's laughing as he's kind of walking up the fairway. And you're thinking like, man, Rory's kind of loose. He's light. Like he's enjoying himself. Like it's not, who knows? Meanwhile, on 11, Justin Rose makes a 57 footer for birdie on the 11th hole. Just like clearly like all you should be doing is try to two-putt there. And he just throats it. On 12, Rose makes a 20 footer to tie Bryson for second place. So all of a sudden, Justin Rose is at -9. He's only 3 shots back of Rory at this point. Viktor Hovland almost makes an albatross on 15. I mean, it's an unbelievable shot that lands, hops forward, and lips out of the cup. It is Nance is excited to point out, it's the 90-year anniversary of Sarazen's double eagle. Rory comes up and hits a great wedge shot into 9, and he plays okay on 8, but makes a birdie on 9, and now he's 4 up on Rose and Ludwig. Rose misses an eagle by maybe an inch on 13. All of this is bang, bang kind of happened right all at the same time. You can feel the drama kind of building. And then Rory birdies 10 after hitting a shot that you think is going like a complete shank. He drops his club, it, thumps off the ground. You're like, what happens? Ball goes to 10 feet and he makes that putt. At that point, I was actually came back out, saw the birdie at 9, saw the birdie at 10. I was like, okay, like I'm in for this, whatever it's going on. Like this is
he's learning from Hideki, just throwing clubs everywhere. It's a ball frog mentality right there.
So Rory was 1 down to Bryson after 2 holes. He's now 5 up on Bryson after 10. I'd forgotten in rewatching this how close to disaster
Bryson
he
was
came
bad.
on 11.
Bryson was
really
bad.
After the second hole, he was bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you start thinking about winning. And I think that probably is what happened to Bryson early in the round. And because I don't think he expected to overtake Rory so quickly. And it was almost like a shock of I didn't expect this to happen so fast. Mm-hmm. Kev, you hit on the third hole. Everybody's going to talk about so many things. The third hole to me was the most pivotal point in the whole tournament because Rory punched back, and if he doesn't do that, it doesn't. I believe that tournament goes completely different way. Bryson probably wins.
It felt like a tipping point of is this going to go like the Reed final round in whatever that was, 18, where it was kind of just really sad and slow, and then that was the punch back.
So Rory's shot on 11 is basically the beginning of the knife's edge that we are going to walk for the rest of the day. He hits a drive right. It's kind of around the trees, and he has to hit a low punch to get it up around the green. The ball hits the mound in the middle of the fairway and kicks left and starts to basically run along the ridge where it looks like it's going to go in the water. And somehow it doesn't. It holds up, and everyone's like, holy shit. Okay. We're fine. Bryson, meanwhile, kind of ejects himself from the tournament, hits it into the water, makes double here. His tournament is essentially over. Rory chips, doesn't get up and down, makes a bogey, but we're kind of like, okay, fine. Through 11, that's tough.
That 11th hole, when you're by the green, you can't really see. There's only a small subset of the fans, and it's a huge patrons. It's a huge gallery right there. And there's only a very small subset that can see up the fairway and see what happens. And I was there, and it's one of the coolest. I guess you could say it's cool, you could say it sucks, but at that moment in time, there was a huge gasp. Whose ball went in the water? Whose ball hung on the edge? And there was this uncertainty being there where you just didn't know whether it was Rory in the water. And I'll never forget, Bryson comes up and it becomes clear that Bryson hit it in the water. And there was this big roar of excitement that Bryson hit it in the water and not Rory.
Rory rode the ridge, though. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, yes, we have blown through our time limit, but we have come back. This is the third session. You might notice if you're watching on YouTube, different clothes from early in the podcast from us, but this is the third session to get this done. We've overextended. This could go to 4 hours. Who knows? KVV, you're on 12.
I'm on 12. That's right. The biggest obstacle, right, in Rory's round. If he can just get through 12, he's going to win the Masters. Everybody will feel this. Grown men will be calling their children in tears from the phone bank behind 12 green. It's great. And you know what happens? Hits the sensible Tiger shot right over to the skinny part of the green in the middle. Ball kind of settles in the back. Easy way to 2-putt from there. We're in great shape. Rose up ahead. Has just left the 14th green. Can you guess what his win probability is at this point? I believe Chris Solomon of No Laying Up looked this up.
I love win probability.
I was going to say, data, that's why they play the effing games. We've already had this for go down this road. What did the data boys say?
The 2%? Data boys say 0.6% chance of winning at this point as Rose is walking off 14 green.
Oh,
so We get to 13. Go ahead, Andy.
Here we go.
I have to say, I'm sorry I'm blaring in personal
data drive-by
here from being no, not data drive-by.
Oh, okay, sorry.
One of the lasting memories I will have is when you're out on the grounds as media, not inside, nobody's inside the ropes at this event except for players and caddies. You have your routes, and one of the things I do on Sunday, the final round, is I watch 11 and 12, and I watch the tee shot on 12, and I just generally beat it from there, and I zip to 13 grandstand. That's my kind of way I do Sunday. Mm-hmm. And so it's always just like a power walk from 12 to 13 grandstand, get in there, watch the group ahead, watch the final group. And that walk, I was, you're supposed to be partial. I wanted Rory to win. The walk from 12 to 13 was just like pure joy.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. I'm just like, he did it. He won. Mm-hmm. He did it. Like, I can't believe he did it. Like 13, he's probably going to make a birdie. He'll probably go even more up in the tournament. Was he 5 up at this point?
Yeah.
4 or 5 up.
5.
He got through the one shot that could have derailed him. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was thinking about the whole way there. And it was just like a breeze to there. I had the biggest smile on my face. Just a happy boy.
I mean, we could make this 4 hours. I think we did make it 4 hours. I would say it's similarly, I felt similarly probably at the similar point in time. And then I'll never forget at 14 green, just being like frozen, like he lost, for sure lost. He definitely lost. He might never play professional golf again. I don't know why he would, and like all these things. And that's where I was similarly at like 12, 13 and 14 green when he bogeyed it. Like, no way. We were there for Pioneer. We were there for LA. We were there. Like, no way. He lost for sure. Lost. And I wonder if, like, how do you even come back? Anyways, too much personal stuff. We're interrupting.
Just a fan asked me if I was okay at one point. I've never said this before.
No.
I was right of 17 green, great. And the person was like, this guy was like, "Are you okay?"
Did he know that you were you, or did he just ask you in general?
Just asking in general. I think you could just see that I was like carrying a lot. Like I just had a lot of things that I was thinking about going on in my head.
Incredible. Oh, it's incredible.
And it was remember, like all because of this roller coaster that is about to ensue.
I just remember at right around the 14 green point thinking this will define him forever. They'll never, ever be able to escape this collapse after what happens coming up here. So we get to 13. We're through the troubled spots. Heck, he could make 2 more birdies. We could turn this into a rout. Hits a good drive on 13, right down the middle. Probably has 200 or so. Yeah, laid back a little, but still hit. I just looked it up. Did hit driver, and decides that he's going to lay up instead of going for the green. Totally understandable. You have, what feels like a 4-shot lead at this point, although Justin is about to birdie 15 kind of as this is unfolding. So he hits, I think, like a 6 iron or 7. It's like a 7 iron or an 8 iron. Ball trickles down to the left side, ends up in the flat part of 13 fairway. Like, could not really ask for much of a better spot to hit your third in there. All you really have to do is be a little bit left of this pin anywhere, 2-putt, go on to 14. You're in good shape. I kind of remember I was just right of, I wasn't up by the grandstand, Andy, but I was just right of the fairway here. It was kind of a little bit tough to see, but I just remember the absolute groan and Neil, who I was standing with, Schuster, saying, "Holy shit, he hit in the water. Oh, fuck." And like the kind of like pall of death that just sort of washed over all of 13 gallery there was like, what is happening? This cannot be happening at this moment. And I think Chris Solomon sent out a good tweet, I think, at this moment. And I have here all things considered, I do not think it's an exaggeration to say that this was one of the worst golf shots in history. And I think that's actually a fair assessment considering what the weight of everything that was going on in the moment. It's a wedge. It's not like it was a tricky shot. It's not like he had to make a swing that was like, he just kind of, Rory said later, he explained that the ball was sitting in like a little bit of a valley, and
it was
by his
the
assessment.
upslope.
Yeah, when that happens,
because there's a catch basin.
Okay,
I just want to
goddamn
point
catch
out,
basins.
There's a catch basin, and he was on the upslope, which upslope with a high lofted wedge is
pull left.
Kind of
is
a
what
tricky,
he said. It is
a very tricky shot. Actually.
So he said when that happens, the ball usually goes 2 or 3 yards left of where he wants it. So he actually kind of aimed at the pin, thinking like, well, the ball's going to come a little bit left, and it just came out weak right and bounced, into the creek.
The one thing that happens with upslopes, if you don't swing with full commitment, you hang it right. Mm-hmm. A great way to practice if you're struggling trying to like release the club is trying to hit draws off of upslopes. Like if you're struggling with like really committing through the swing, it's a great drill because it accentuates, bad shots. And I think that's what happened here.
So Rory makes double on 13. And while this is happening, Justin Rose flags it on 16 to the top shelf. Now remember, this is not the traditional Sunday pin. This is they put it up top to sort of commemorate Jack Nicklaus's win in 75. And so a pretty hard pin to go at. Rose makes birdie. And all of a sudden he now leads by 1 stroke. The horror of it all is just, when Rose birdies, we're tied at this point. And then Rory bogeys 14 and loses the lead.
Yeah.
And also
that 13th grandstand, watching that wedge, I still vividly can remember that wedge was like slow motion. Mm-hmm. I remember that whole scene in my brain, like a picture, the audible sounds of the patrons and the ball just like seemingly hanging, and you're like, you don't have the best angle on it. And I'm like, oh my God. And you see his reaction right after impact. And it's just like, you're watching this. It's like, and it's just one of those sports moments that like the slow motion effect of a situation.
Yeah. Ludwig also makes birdie on 15 at this point. And now Ludwig is 1 shot back. He is very much in this championship. If
also,
Brendan,
sorry, I'm hijacking this.
No, please do.
At this moment in time, Bryson, I think, kind of gave up. And he might be the one that kicks himself the most.
Yeah.
Because he was still so in it, but he totally let go of the rope. And it's like something that happens in tournament golf all the time, where you feel like you're out of it and you just let off, and it's like, well, what does it matter anymore? And the shot on 11, he kind of gave up. He got punched and he never got back off the mat. And if he had gotten back up off the mat, he could have won this golf tournament.
Yep. Maybe he was unnerved by Rory not talking to him all day. He just turtled up, as we'll get to that in a little bit. All right. So, Brendan, you were one of the few people who made the trek out to 14. You kind of have to choose at this moment. Where do you want to go? Do you want to be, because you can't basically follow everything as it going with the ropes and the traffic where it is. So what do you remember about 14? Because I did not go out there. I set up to 50.
Kind of what we just talked about. Just being frozen as soon as the bogey in the lead was fully gone. I was down at 13, obviously between there, like looking down a similar view, watching the ball fall into water, then hightail across 14 and just book up to essentially a dead end left of 14 green. Kind of, you just got to go. You might get close. I was a little taller, could see through, and he hit a great recovery shot. He was right in the trees, right in the pine tree. He hit a good shot to get back in play. And then, I just remember him, honestly, like the lead was. I know there's so many more roller coasters to come, like 15 shot, the shot into 17 that I'll never, ever forget being there when that dropped from the sky. But I truly think like the swing from what Andy talked about, like it is over between birdie and 10, 11 avoiding the water. Like it's over. And we thought it was just Bryson kind of. I think like I don't want to be reductive here, but it was like a mano there for the first couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
That it felt final. Honestly, 14 felt final. Like once you went from 4 up to 1 down, that was it. And this is what we've seen this movie before, not with this amount of gore or this amount of beauty in it, but we've seen this movie before. He is now 1 down and it's over.
The previous ones were like a David Fincher film, and this was like a slasher film, like a true, like, it's like Friday the 13th, blood everywhere, psychological thrillers. Previous films, but this was more intense than that. All right, so
he played it great. He played 14 really well. Besides the drive, like he played it, like using that, maybe the best green on the property. Like he played it great. It's just a really freaking hard.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
No, there's so much happening at this point that it's like your senses are overloading. Justin Rose bogeys 17, which I had sort of forgotten about. So we have a 3-way tie at 10 under at this point. And Rory comes to the 15th tee, tugs his drive a little bit left, and he's got the equivalent of a 7-iron into 15. And it's just the tension is in the air for a while. To be honest, Rory plays pretty fast for what will honestly be the most iconic shot of this final round in some ways, although you could argue that 17 should be there with it, and hits an unbelievable, like big draw 7-iron, curves up around the tree. And Nance has a call here. This is Cameron's picture. I love that you can see the ball in this picture. Yeah. It's framed so perfectly. I mean, this is like A+ sports photography right here. So kudos to our own Cameron here just for that. But Nance's call is one that we'll probably hear for our entire life. And this is why Nance is so good, not just because of what he says, which isn't anything special, but I think because of the pauses in it. He says, "Is it enough? It is. Here it comes. The shot of a lifetime." It's just so, the cadence of it is so good. I know that it's a simple thing. And of course, you're thinking, oh, Rory's going to make this eagle putt. Like then he's going to waltz in. This will be forever. No, pretty feeble eagle putt. In fact, feeble is the word that Nance and Trevor both use. Kind of comes out of it, leaves it low. He does have the lead back though, but he kind of looks like he's pretty despondent walking to 16. Like, Jesus, like I cannot believe I hit this amazing shot and then I didn't could have cash it in. It's a good shot on 16.
I think this is the point where the moment and all the events are clear. Like it's just clear as day that it's taken a toll on him.
Mm-hmm. You can see in the official Masters video, which is quite good, him as he's walking off 15 green, he looks over his shoulder and takes a long look at the scoreboard there. And you can see him processing all the information that is and what has to be done. As we read from the John Grisham thing, the killing had still to be done at this moment. Hits a good shot on 16, and it's kind of up there on the shelf, kind of right along the fringe, but not the best putt. Just makes a par there. And Rose, meanwhile, is up on 18. He makes an unbelievable stone cold killer of a putt. I mean, it is so good. He immediately takes his hat off and does the Justin Rose thing of like just, stoic, very, royally staring down the crowd and giving the fist pump. And you're just like, how in the world did Justin Rose do this? How is it he now tied for the lead yet again? Ludwig bogeyed 17, so he kind of missed out a chance that could have had him in there. And kind of while this shit is going on, Patrick Reed holes out for eagle on 17. Just crazy one.
Another guy who could have been in it with that first round putting or the putter. The putting. Yeah.
That only got Patrick to 9 under, which isn't going to be good enough. But it was an unbelievable shot. And I remember thinking as that roar unfolded, like there's only like so many good, cool moments that ever happened on 17. Like Patrick Reed just stole whatever Rory's thing, but Rory hits the drive.
Nobody knew what happened around 17 because nobody clapped. Nobody saw it go in.
Yeah, it was really hard to see.
Reed was like, "What happened back in the fairway?" I was standing right there. It's like nobody knew what happened.
Yeah,
that's right.
Ludwig on 17 is one of like maybe one of my favorite things to happen all year because he was so clearly pressing, like he knew that he had a chance and
3-putted, I believe, right?
Yeah,
on 17,
and tried to make the birdie putt so bad that it led to a 3-putt, and tried to just smash the gas pedal through the floor. And like that's another one of those, like we'll get to Rahm, that like Ludwig's T8 or whatever he ended up at, like he was one of like 4 guys that actually had a chance at the end. That I don't think the T8 is really reflective of what actually happened at the end.
In any other Masters, what happened on 17 would be the shot of a career. Like it is hard to birdie 17. It is really hard to hit it close. There really aren't that many like iconic moments that have happened on 17 over the years. But Rory is in the middle of the fairway. He's got an 8-iron in, takes a lash at it, and immediately he's saying, go. Mm-hmm. I counted it. I was watching the video back. He says go 10 times. Go. So either like he felt like it was coming up a little short, or like he was just putting every bit of emotion into encouraging what it is. But it lands, rolls out to, I think 4 feet, makes that putt. And now once again, he has a 1-stroke lead. His destiny is all entirely in his hands. He can win the Masters with a par on 18. Hits the ball in the middle of the fairway. You're thinking, man, everything's fine. Got a wedge into 18. All we got to do is put it in the middle of the green. Flares it a little bit right. Goes in the bunker. And so he gets down to the bunker. Hits it, honestly, like a pretty good shot. Faldo at this point says he's putting his soul through the ringer. I can't imagine what he feels like.
On the radio, Faldo on the radio? Or
something? Faldo. Okay. I think Faldo was on. Yeah, I got it from the Masters film, so it must have been from the radio.
He was on. I think he was on Sky. He might have been.
Okay. Yeah. So hits a pretty good bunker shot and rolls out to, I don't know, maybe 5 feet. And Nance says, "That putt for the world." Doesn't hit a great putt, comes out of it a little bit, and it's an absolute like, oh my God, how are we still like back here? How is this horror film still continuing over and over? Rory said that Harry and he were walking to the 18th tee, and Harry said, "Well, pal, you would have given your right arm at the start of the week to be in a playoff." And Rory said, "Yeah, I absolutely would have." He said, "So that was an easy reset." Justin Rose, the last playoff at the Masters, Justin Rose was in with Sergio Garcia. Justin Rose hits a much better drive than he did in that playoff, stripes it right down the right side. Rory puts it right in the middle, has essentially the same shot with gap wedge. Rose puts his ball, and Rose's shot basically lands right at pin high, and it bounces forward. And so it doesn't get the roll that Rory's is going to get in a second. And it sits kind of a little bit up above, not quite totally on the ridge, but he's got maybe 10 feet or so. Rory's, honestly, I think this is the best wedge of Rory's life. We talked about the wedge on 13, probably the worst shot in golf history in some ways. This is the exact controlled distance that you have to hit it to be able to not go further than the ridge, but to hit it right on the ridge and for it to suck back down to give him, essentially a 3-footer for the win. Justin Rose's putt comes very, very close. I mean, it's a good putt. It's, it's not the greatest putt, but it's probably, a ball out to the right. And then Rory finally steps up, and you're thinking in your head, I don't know about you guys, but I was like, oh my God, if he misses this, I think my heart might fucking explode. Just not even like because of like, I want him to win, but like, I don't know that I can see one person suffer this badly. Like if this putt lips out, but it does not. It goes down, falls to his knees. A decade plus of catharsis comes out. CBS does an incredible job of just letting the moment speak for itself. Nance doesn't say anything for nearly like 4 minutes, I believe. Trevor as well. They just let the scene kind of unfold. Joel Beal, I think, had an excellent sort of summary here in his Gamer for Golf Digest. Rory McIlroy knew there was no stopping the tears that had waited 10 years to fall. The demon he had chased for so long was finally caught, the relief buckling his knees and driving him to the ground. He grabbed his head, running his hands through his salt and pepper curls, a man utterly exhausted and completely humbled by a pursuit whose toll we will never truly know. Tears as he embraced his caddy, Harry Diamond, before they left the green, arms draped over each other's shoulders. Tears when he reunited with his wife and daughter as he walked to the clubhouse through the patrons, chanting his name. Tears that extinguished the fire he'd faced about who he was as a player and a person. Tears that can only be conjured by the countless hours of pain and doubt, wondering if this moment would ever come. Pretty good lead there. At some point, the Jack Nicklaus is on Golf Channel Live, and it's like, I've never seen a tournament where so many good shots and so many bad shots and so many changes of this and that. But I'm delighted for Rory. And I know he's had a lot of pressure on him. He's had the world on his shoulders. And that was wonderful for him to win. Rory comes into the press conference afterwards, and the moderator says, congrats on winning the 89th Masters in a dramatic playoff fashion. You've now completed the career Grand Slam. Please share with us your thoughts at this moment. And Rory says, I'd like to start this press conference with a question myself. What are we going to talk about next year? It gets a good laugh in the playoff there. Rory reveals that, do you remember who left him a note in his locker before? Angel Cabrera. It said, I got to my locker this morning and I opened it up and there was a note there from Angel Cabrera just wishing me luck. And Angel was the player that I played with on the final day in 2011. It was a nice touch and a little bit ironic at the same time. It's been 14 long years. It's nice of the Argentine government to let Angel out so that he could set this in motion. Who knows? The butterfly effect. If Angel stays in prison, maybe Rory never gets out. No, it doesn't work out this way. Do you know how many threes Rory made for the week?
Well, 18.
30 fucking threes. I didn't realize that until I was doing the research. In one of my favorite moments, probably my favorite moment from the press conference, Eamon Lynch gets the mic and says, you and Harry grew up together in a tiny town playing childhood games together. What does it feel like to have him standing beside you today when you have achieved that childhood dream? Eamon's going to fucking kill me when he really hears me doing an impression of him. Rory, this is the first thing that really kind of breaks Rory a little bit. He says, Eamon, and he's like happy, but like, can't believe you did this to me. He says, yeah, I've known Harry since I was 7 years old. I met him on the putting green at Hollywood Golf Club. We've had so many good times together. He's been like a big brother to me and the whole way through my life. And then he starts to essentially cry. He says, to be able to share this with him after all the close calls that we've had, all the crap that he's had to take from people that don't know anything about the game. Yeah, this one is just as much his as mine. He's a massive part of what I do. And I don't think there would be anyone better that could share it with than him. I will close with a really nice piece of writing here. As I've said many times, I'm jealous that I didn't get to write about this tournament, even though I'm super proud of the podcast that I worked on during it. This is from Shane Ryan and talked about, we've just seen the last great golf story. And this is the kind of the ending kicker. He says, whoever is writing the Rory saga seemed to get it. A decade of losses got us to where we are today. But more than one loss would, paradoxically, undermine the carefully built tension. The win that transpired, on the other hand, unleashed staggering catharsis, emphasizing the incredible competitive resilience of the eternal optimist, whose greatness was a static fact and whose ultimate triumph came from a heroic refusal to stop trying. He was Odysseus, hell-bent on getting home no matter how the gods tried to break him, until even the gods began to love him again. McIlroy became great with the early wins, but he became heroic through his failures. He became larger than life through his suffering. If you wanted him to win on Sunday, as I did, it wasn't because of his real-life personal qualities or the deficiencies of his opponents, but because you couldn't bear to see this kind of extended suffering go unrewarded. Whatever you think of him, whatever complications you see in his actions, hadn't he earned this? Didn't he deserve it? There was no better ending than Augusta. No better ending than 1,000 obstacles at the threshold, convincing you he might be eternally cursed. No better ending than the unbearable tension and agonizing delays right until the very end, until he finally, can you fucking believe it, victory. He is the greatest story in sports, and I am in awe of the author who stuck this landing.
It's pretty good writing. Yeah. Very good writing.
Yeah. On deadline too. Those guys.
Yeah, he's good.
Well done.
That. He's good with that.
Well done. That's a wrap. That's what I got.
Tournament of a lifetime.
Maybe.
It's. I mean, we could talk about it for another 3 hours. We don't need to, but it just. I mean, we talked about it all that week. It was kind of ridiculous how tense it was before a shot was ever hit. Right. And it's like Rory versus Bryson and Rory for the slam. And then what happened over the next 4 hours could not even conceive of it. And it just kept building and building and building, escalating all the way from the heart. It was just, it was incredible.
Oh, I did miss one thing that I wanted to revisit. I teased it earlier. Bryson was talking at the Flash Zone and said, someone asked, what did you guys talk about throughout the round, or what was going through his mind? How did he prepare? And Bryson said, no idea. He didn't talk to me at all. They didn't say basically anything to him the whole day. And so, it was kind of like, it became a weird thing just impartially because it's Bryson. And Rory was basically like, we're both trying to win the championship. I don't really know what exactly he expected, why that he wanted to talk. But it did seem, let me see if I can find his quote here. Basically just said, why would he expect that we were going to talk? It wasn't personal, but I just didn't really, think it was. And I think that honestly kind of maybe unnerved Bryson a little bit, and maybe did exactly like it didn't have anything to do with Bryson, but it did unnerve him a little bit. Just the silence.
What does Bryson want more than anything in life?
To be loved.
Love and acceptance.
Be loved and accepted. And, I don't know if this was strategy, but if you wanted one way to mess with Bryson more than anything, would be not talking to him at all. And listen, golf is a gentleman's game, but there is a lot of gentlemanly ways to have a lot of gamesmanship,
Yeah. It wasn't an extreme move. It wasn't over the line, and it got painted as sort of like this was beyond the pale. I mean, it's what Tiger would have done. Tiger wouldn't have said a word to.
I don't even think Bryson really painted it as. I think people who like Bryson painted it more as like this shitty thing that Rory did. Bryson was like, "Oh, he didn't talk to me at all." Like it wasn't like he was angry about it, but
not a shitty thing to do at all.
It's fine as long as you're not rude and all that. I mean, you're not getting in his way. I mean, God. All right. I think that does it. That was a good one. That was a beefy boy, but it's deserving of its beefiness. I think most importantly from Sunday was that Zach Johnson played his way into a potential Ryder Cup spot with his top 10. I think that was the biggest takeaway. No, this was great. This was really well done. Kevin, Andy, up to the task, I think. Not all years in review will be like this. So
you don't think we'll spend this kind of time on the PGA?
Well, Don Rea comes into our life.
I think you're underrated in the PGA.
I think maybe not the tournament, but the practice round days, I think, might be the most impactful thing that occur for the rest of the time.
Okay.
We'll see.
I think that does it. Thank you. As Andy said, join Friday Golf Club, subscribe to the newsletter. Go to Bedrati, SGS30 is the promo code. Thank you guys for your continued support. This year review is a labor, but it's a labor of love, and hopefully it's worthwhile and entertaining enough for you guys during the holiday time. So
where are we going to get this done?
I feel like we are. We're over a big hump with this one. PJ and I've been very unmotivated. PJ got me a little motivated yesterday. Like, we're gonna grind this out.
Come on.
We'll see. We'll see what next week brings.
I got a tough week ahead.
I know.
Yes, you do.
We'll see what next week brings. I know. All right.
I may get called in from the bullpen.
Everybody,
keep warming up that arm.
Everybody enjoy your weekends. We will be back with you on Monday.